What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I'm Chris 183.
And the calendar hasn't officially changed to December, but we're moving on to our next little mini series. So we're going to pretend it's December, even though it's the end of November if you're listening today. But at the end of a year, it's good to look back and reflect. And what we're going to do is look back on 2023, and we're going to talk about albums that came out from artists that you know and like, or maybe you don't know. I don't know. But albums that came out in 2023. And there is absolutely nowhere else that we can start. We've kept quiet long enough. The Blink-182s released a new album this year, and we're going to talk about it. And it's called One More Time, ... But if you're listening to the show, you probably already know all of those facts already. But Chris, they might not know who is joining us. Do you want to introduce our secret guest?
I do, and this gentleman's not so secret. Like, guys, if you've been listening to High School Never Ends, the show to date, you may have heard this individual on the show previously. If not, you may have heard from him, from his band, from his online reviews. They're out there, right? This individual is multi-talented. Welcome back to the show, Mike. Are we saying full names, Mike, or are we just going with Mike?
Sure, you can call me Sean Michael Elfers.
So now, SME, I like that. SME.
Yep. Those are my initials as well.
Mike Elfers. I didn't want to assume, but welcome back to High School Never Ends. It is always a pleasure to have you here, and especially for this very special episode.
Hey, thanks. It's really good to hear your voices and see your beautiful faces again. I actually showed up with something. I thought this would be pretty funny. So 2 years ago, I think, we began our throuple relationship.
Sounds about right, ish.
Yep.
We met each other. We compared online journalistic wieners, and I thought hit it off really well. And then there was immediately trouble in paradise. If we'll just rewind with me real quick.
Who would you rather see in Blink-182, Matt Skiba or Tom DeLonge?
What a dumb question.
I would like for Blink to break up.
That is not an answer to this question. There is one of these two.
If there's no time machines present, then I guess Matt Skiba.
What if there are time machines present?
All right. Why don't you just configure the question however you'd like the answer to come out, Chris?
I just think
Chris, you are a great soothsayer. And a time machine has been created for us so that we may share this very special podcast together.
Yeah, I'm glad you admitted that. I usually am 100% correct in everything I say, and that's just kind of reinforcing that. But I'll tell you what, when this happened and Tom did come back into the band, you were going to be my first phone call. Unfortunately, I didn't call you, but I should have, because I wanted to tell you that, remember that conversation.
And just to pull the curtain back a little bit, Mike, when this album came out, I wouldn't say that you badgered your way onto this episode, because we are happy to have you. But you were like, you wanted to be on this episode so bad that you canceled your own band practice because we had to record it tonight. So why is it that you needed to be part of this conversation?
I think it's equal parts redemption, equal parts participation. And it's been and I miss you guys. It's been an interesting year, or it's been an interesting 6 months for First Things First, my band. In July, our guitar player Craig got hit by a rogue artillery shell and fucked up his ear super bad.
Ooh. Wow.
He's fine now. He has like he has like hearing aids now, and he has to play music in like industrial strength, like earplugs. And I hurt some of my mouth a couple weeks ago. My brother fucked up his shoulder stopping a coworker from getting stabbed. And then last Monday, our bass player messaged us and said, hey, I still want to practice, but just FYI, I have shingles. Is that gross for you guys? And so I said, you know what, we're just going to bail on practice. And then I saw this looming, and I said, let's just do the whole 6 months. Let's practice in a couple weeks. And I'm itching to talk about the new Blink record with some people that I think that are going to understand it the same way that I do.
I hope so. I kind of feel like sad and down now. I thought, thank you for starting us off in that headspace here. But we're gonna be happy because we waited for this for a long time. We waited for Tom to come back. When they announced they were back, we got the song Edging over a year ago. We waited a whole year for the actual album and more songs to come out. So we are ripe with anticipation, and we are going to sound off. We're going to talk about every single one of the songs. There's 17 of them, guys. But I guess let's start up. Let's start at the build up, right? So Edging comes out a little over a year ago. It takes all this time. The album is now out. What were you guys feeling a little bit before the album came out? How were you feeling about it? They released a few tracks beforehand. What's everybody's headspace?
Go ahead, Mike.
As I proved in High School Never Ends, historically, I was a little down on the Tom DeLonge aspect of Blink. I just thought that he moved to a different place mentally when writing music and dreaming about aliens at the White House. So to be quite honest with you, when Edging came out, I was underwhelmed. I said, oh, well, I'm happy he's back. I saw him hugging his friends. And I said, well, this is, I'm happy for them. This song is still really not anything special for me. I still feel that way about that song personally. And so as the anticipation built, I felt kind of the same feeling that I think a lot of people that would identify with me felt when Neighborhoods was being made, which just, is this too good to be true? It looks like they're having a great time, but are we going to hear later that their agents all broke them apart, in the midst of a tour? And that was until the single One More Time came out, and I truly became a believer. I shared the same tears and happiness that I think most people my age experienced when watching that music video and hearing that song for the first time. And as a 39-year-old fan of pop punk music, I thought, wow, it's sad that it took cancer and a plane crash and all of this shit, but these guys are finally writing music for 39-year-old pop punk fans instead of trying to chase something that has been gone for a very long time. And so I was incredibly pleased with that single when it came out.
That's tough to follow. I'll tell you what, I did not care about anything else when I heard that Tom was coming back. There was a void that was left in my heart and soul when he left after Neighborhoods and decided to pursue other venues, other areas. Obviously still continued to make music, but to me it just was never the same. Obviously I've been very vocal about my thoughts on Matt Skiba, and no ill will towards the gentleman. Obviously I just didn't really prefer his music within the band Blink-182. I'm sure he does a fine job elsewhere, and that band he's in, I forget the name of it. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's Alkaline Trio. I remember. Don't worry.
Good job.
I see the look on Mike's face. But anyway, so this Edging comes out. Obviously highly anticipated. I like it. I don't love it. For whatever reason, maybe I just wanted something different. More thoughts on that later, because I have other thoughts on that song. But when this new batch of songs come out, just like similar but different to what Mike said, it just solidified inside of me that I am so glad that this band is back together the way that it should be. And to me, it just is that missing piece of the puzzle when you hear Tom kind of come in with his part in songs that are amazing. It feels right, it sounds right, and all is right now that Blink-182 is whole once again.
Back in business. Did either of you guys see, Chris, I know you didn't see, Mike, did you see them when they played this summer?
Not in person, no. But that's another thing about getting old, right? iPhones take incredibly good quality videos now. So for the first time, when Neighborhoods was coming out and we were catching all these surprise live performances, they sounded like dog shit. When Matt Skiba was singing Dysentery Gary with Blink-182 on stage and he found it on YouTube, it sounded like dog shit that many years later. We're finally at an age where I was watching iPhone videos and getting verklempt watching them play some of these new songs live.
Yeah, imagine seeing. I saw that show and definitely I drank some beers and I shed some tears, and maybe one was related to the other. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but it was pretty cathartic to be a 39 or 40-year-old person and see one of my favorite bands and the original lineup back together, see these guys screwing around, even though I was pretty far away because I don't have $1,000 per ticket to be in the pit or anything like that. But I already did get tickets to next summer's show. Looking forward to it. But in terms of me and this release, I was all in when Edging came out. I listened to it like 300 times. I thought it was great. We'll get a little more detailed later on. And actually, Chris, you and I talked about this on an entire episode of, we talked about Edging probably for a half an hour, but liked it a whole lot. I definitely felt like when the hell is this album gonna come out? Like it took a long time. It took a full year. Travis kept saying it's coming soon. And it took a really long time. It ended up coming out on October 20th of this year, 2023. And maybe 4 weeks before is when, they released One More Time. So it was almost a whole year. And I was just waiting for it. I'm like, come on, guys, like finish this. Let's do something. And we'll get to One More Time when we get to One More Time. But I was just highly anticipating it. I was not disappointed at all. I definitely had some initial reactions the first time I listened through. I will say one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit is that, so they released 6 songs before the album came out. And some of those were like a day or 2 days before or a week before. But having listened to 6 tracks, I mean, Edging, One More Time, More Than You Know, Dance With Me, like Edging, we had a year. One More Time, More Than You Know, we probably had about a month. Dance With Me, we had a couple of weeks. Having known like that many tracks before the record came out kind of made it difficult to listen to, in terms of like when you listen to something for the first time, you want to hear it from the front to the back. And it's like when you get to Edging, it's like, do I skip the song because I know it? Do I make sure to listen to it and get the continuity of the album? It just felt weird knowing so many of the songs before. Did either of you guys have that experience with it?
Oh, absolutely. And that's a quirk I have with modern music in general. Everything's related to clicks and streams, and it's done that way. It's calculated. It's done that way on purpose. But so what I do when a new record comes out is I skip through and listen to all the songs I haven't heard yet and assume that they're the deep cuts. And I think I was right in this, respect. But yeah, think about that for a second. Think about if Enema of the State, if 6 songs from Enema of the State came out before the full record came out, all you'd be left with would be kind of the fat of the record. Not to say that there's really any negative song on that record, but if they put out all the great ones right away, it's kind of a strange way to introduce somebody to a pile of songs.
Chris, did you listen to all the singles before they came out?
It didn't hit me like that. I always, so even from way back in the day, I like to hear hits first and then go back and listen to the album, because I love the way that the songs kind of surround the hits. So you hear the songs and then you like to hear songs around it. To me, it makes some of the other songs sound better. I don't know, it sounds weird, but it's just the way that I kind of listen to music. So I was good with that, but I can tell you that I did something that forces me to listen to the album from front to back without skipping anything. So forcing me to listen to the entire album, song after song after song with no skips, is me buying a record player and buying this album on vinyl. I listened to this album over and over and over and over again in order, just, ad nauseum. And it wasn't ad nauseum because I loved every second of it. But it was a really cool experience, though, because I knew I couldn't skip. You have to listen. And I actually really enjoyed it. So, I took the dive, took the dive, right? And it worked.
Vinyl guy.
It's my first album.
It wasn't weird listening, having heard like a couple of the singles already?
It wasn't.
Didn't phase you. Okay.
I was fine with that. I kind of liked where they sit on this album, and I think it was fine. So
we posed a question on Instagram asking people honest thoughts about this album. Chris, would it be better to hear the general public's honest thoughts about this album from Instagram before we all go into song by song, or later? What do you think here?
No, I think we need to talk about it now because I wanted to talk about it before. So
do you want me to read the honest thoughts about the album from Instagram?
Yeah, I know it's polarizing, but go ahead. Yeah, you're talking about how people weighed in. I read that earlier today, so go for it.
I got a handful of them. I talk quick. So
Very polarizing, right? Very polarizing.
there's a lot of different things. So we had, it's an album that had to grow on me for a little bit, but I love it now. Their best since Untitled. And I'm not giving any credit here. So if you wrote this in, good for you. But I didn't write down who said what. It's a nice blend of all eras of Blink, great songs, but I didn't love the mix. And we'll talk on that. Bad News, I think, is the best song on the album, has hints of Newfound Glory. Overall, great album. I like the first half a lot. I get lost in the second half. Things start to sound samey, could have been shorter. Listened, didn't find it good. I guess I don't have the same nostalgia for Blink as others do. Okay, that's not a Blink fan. Thumbs down emoji, that was one. Aggressively meh was another one. It's like a lost greatest hits album of all their different projects. Okay. Another person said meh, that was just it. M-E-H. I really like the first half, but I like it so much I can't get myself to listen to the second half yet. It's my album of the year in terms of Blink discography, middle of the pack. Then we had 3 short ones. Overproduced was one. Banger, exclamation point, was another. And solid but not my fave is the last. So if you ask the general public, like our followers on Instagram, I think you see a mix of a little bit of everything. I think more of those were positive than negative, though, right?
But also if you look at U.S. top alternative albums, tastemaker albums, album sales, digital albums, top rock albums, that's just the United States. They were number 1 pretty much across the board.
This was a number 1 album on the Billboard 200. And to be honest with you, if Tay-Tay Swift did not re-release her 1989 album, it probably would have been number 1 for more than a single week. It beat the Rolling Stones, guys. This album, a brand new Rolling Stones record came out for the first time in like who the hell knows, like 20 years or something. And this beat that. That was number 3.
But does it, look, I don't care. I'll just say it. Does that really matter? Like in 2023?
I mean, it's something.
I mean, I know they're like an all-time great band. I get
accolade.
it. I don't like the Rolling Stones. I don't care like what people say. Like, I don't like their music at all.
What if Keith Richards just like appeared behind Chris as a zombie and stuff?
Well, he would fall into dust. I don't know. I sorry, Keith Richards, if you're listening and you're a fan of the show. Yeah, I'm sure you.
I don't think he knows how to use Zoom. You bloody wanker.
Anyway, so that's interesting. You know, number 1. Look, I heard more. You said mostly positive. I don't think that's true. I think you said more meh and like bad than you said good. So
I didn't count it up. I'll count it up. I'll count it up while you talk.
It was a ton of meh.
But I was just talking to Steve about this because my philosophy when I started reviewing records on that'sgoodenough.me.com and I started with Punk News, and I still get shit for this on Punk News in particular, of giving positive reviews, of giving. I gave the new Taking Back Sunday record 4 out of 5 stars because I thought it was great. The comment section that, it said, oh, there's Mike Elfers with another 4-star review. Like there's something wrong with being positive. The internet is just a very negative place. It's the same reason I tell my wife all the time. She says, I said, have you bought that thing that we need yet? She said, no, I'm looking at the Amazon reviews. I said, well, all you're going to read there is some guy saying that it gave him cancer because of Biden's laptop. Like you're not going to find positive reviews of anything for the most part. And so if you hear negativity on Instagram, that's just another day working for the weekend, baby.
It was 9 to 5, positive to negative.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I just wasn't listening to anything you were saying.
Sometimes when you say meh, it hits you. You remember a little more starkly. I think. Are
you putting meh as a positive?
No, that's a negative.
Yeah. Okay.
That was sure. I'm saying when I said the negative ones, they probably just hit in your head more because they seemed like they were more emphasis.
Well, look, I don't mind people that are negative about things if that's how they feel. I've been negative many times, and it's just because that's my opinion, right? That's okay. But if you're being negative just to be a contrarian, that's a whole different story. So it's hard to really tell that on the internet to know who's doing that just to troll or be a contrarian just to be one. But if it's your true feelings about something, that's fine, and you want to be vocal about it. But just kind of back it up, right? Back it up as to why. That's all. That's all I ask.
Well, and I'll add too, because I know like hardcore punk dudes that are still arguing this. So I'm going to give credit where credit's due. we've said original lineup of Blink-182 a whole bunch of times, so I just thought we'd raise our glasses for Scott Raynor, the original drummer of Blink for over 6 years, who played on, countless great Blink-182 songs that we still count on today. But there are always going to be people in this genre of music that are going to be chasing something that they're never going to feel again because they have mortgages now and have to give their mother a bath because she hurt her shoulder. It just doesn't hit the same way when you're an adult sometimes.
Well, sometimes you can get lost in that music even better because you got to escape mommy's bath time or grandma's bath time.
Are people chasing Scott Raynor for a return?
No, but people are chasing that feeling. People are chasing that. I went skateboarding all day with my friends and listened to Dude Ranch. And as punk as Blink's new record is trying to sound, it just sounds like they're trying too hard. And it's like, no, bitch, they were trying pretty fucking hard in 1998 too. It was just a different time in your life and in their lives. And we're going to get into a big conversation about whether or not this thing is too produced and what production means in 2023. And I'm going to have the same thing to say about that.
Do you think that if we saw a Scott Raynor versus Travis Barker drum battle, that would be something interesting?
It might finally shut some people up.
Kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see it.
This isn't exactly the same, but Travis hurt himself like right after Enema came out. And so there's a whole bunch of footage of Blink playing in Australia with a bunch of guest drummers. Josh Freese from The Vandals and Nine Inch Nails and Perfect Circle plays a couple songs. Brooks Wackerman from Avenged Sevenfold and Bad Religion plays drums on some songs. The drummer from Pennywise, that I can't recall his name right now, they play a handful of the first several tracks from Enema of the State, and there's a guy holding a camera right next to them, so it sounds terrible, but it's very interesting.
Probably not the drummer from the Rolling Stones either, correct?
No, he had something going on that day.
Yeah, he passed away, right? So it couldn't be him.
Not him. Well, the album did well. So whatever it means, it was number one in the Billboard 200. It also had 30 million streams worldwide in its first week. Anybody have a guess how much money the Blink tour brought in? How much it grossed last summer?
$30 billion.
Is that a real guess or is that a fake guess?
That's my guess.
I'm just asking.
I'd be more interested in like the $26 they made off of Spotify last month. But
the tour grossed $85 million, which is not 30 billion or whatever you said, but still, that's a shitload.
80
of money.
billion.
That's a shitload of money. $85 million that
was
tour
close.
in the U.S.
Damn.
All right.
Okay. So I know we want to get to the music, but it's funny. One more point is Blink relevant in 2023 to everybody? And I think maybe we've already answered our question with the number one. Is that all just nostalgia though, or do we feel like they're getting some new fans out there?
I think that nostalgia is a completely different thing than it was when our parents were going to like 80s dance parties when we were kids, or listening to the oldies. I think nostalgia is such a larger part of pop culture now that it's bled into mainstream, whether we're looking for Easter eggs on Better Call Saul from Breaking Bad, or going all the way back to 1999. Americans especially are just starving for nostalgia in a way that it hasn't been until, the last decade or so. So it's hard to say.
Okay. Steve, what do you think?
I forgot the question.
Come on, man.
Mike was just so interesting. I was just listening to him. I missed the question.
Is the success, obviously we had 1 week at number one, but the streams and just the success of this album, is it purely nostalgia? Or do you think that there's new fans of Blink-182 in 2023?
Yes.
I can't even say it.
The answer is yes. I think that the success of this record is definitely nostalgia because it's people that liked Blink-182 from back in the day. Did they get some new fans? Probably. But I mean, as much as this played on alternative and rock radio, which is where people that are older or nostalgic are going to sit and listen most likely. It even was on pop rocks, these songs. I don't think it was on like the top 40. I don't listen to top 40, so maybe I'm wrong. But I'm sure that they got some new fans, but I don't think that's where the majority of it came from.
Got it. Well,
Just
just to test that theory, I did say that I was playing the vinyl album on my record player, which is audible to people in my house, and my son and I were listening to this album with the album fairly visible. What's that face for?
That face is because I've been where you've been, and there's a lot of curses. Your son is around the same age as my daughter. It's tough to ignore.
You can't shield them from that forever. I mean, it's not like it's egregious. It's okay. It's not bad.
The masturbation line is tough.
I don't think he even heard that, to be honest with you.
I mean,
anyway,
I would say this low because in case my wife, I play it in the car anyway. I just, whatever.
They don't know what they're listening to. So anyway, I said, okay, son, who is this band? And I gave him 3 guesses. And I says, if you get this right, I'll buy you something nice. Anything you want. I don't care what it is. I don't know what that answer, I don't know what I would, but he didn't get it. But his guesses were, is this the Beatles? And I says, no, it's not the Beatles. So that was the first guess. The second guess?
Almost auto-tuned as much as the Beatles' new song, but not quite.
Okay. The next guess was the Pink Skull Band, because he saw the skull on the album and said this must be the Pink Skull Band. So that's obviously not correct because there's no such thing. And his last guess was Imagine Dragons. So that's not correct. So
the last remaining rock and roll band is Imagine Dragons.
But
12,
I think
12, 13-year-olds, when unprompted, when unpushed by their parent, just to see if they know who this is. I have an example of one that does not know that. So I wonder if that's the norm.
is your son is he that old? 12, 13?
He's 12.
Oh, I always thought that they were closer to my daughter's age. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah.
So this is wrong record, but when Generational Divide came out, and this is solely because my daughter was like 3 and was watching something, and I changed it to put on this music video. Mark was screaming over and over again, "Is it better? Is it better?" And my daughter was just screaming, "No!" And so I got a good video of that, and I sent it to Mark Hoppus. He never read it, but it said, "I guess it's not better."
Maybe someday he will, because that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that. Send it to me too.
Well, guys, we have 17 tracks to get through, so this is a long album.
But that was good stuff. It was good. It was good conversation. You have
Absolutely.
To admit. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we had to talk about those things. Yes, Steve, we can get into the album now. So let's go ahead, kick things off. Where do you want to start with? Number 1? I think that makes the most sense.
Probably. This is a number 1 album. And just to point out, again, it came out October 20th of this year, 2023. Columbia Records put it out. It was produced by Travis with some help from Adam Rubin. But that's some of the background on here. And we have Mark Hoppus, Tom DeLonge, Travis Barker back again. And the number 1 track, the first track, is Anthem Part 3. So we are now in a trilogy for the anthems. Should I kick this off, or do somebody else want to?
Go for it.
All right. I have a beef with this song, and I've talked to a bunch of people about it, and I feel like I might not. I might be the only one, or maybe there's a small group. I don't like the intro to this track. Okay. There's basically 3 different intros. The beginning intro, the very first thing that we hear, the guitar sounds like it's off key or he's hitting a wrong note, and it bugs me. Then it shifts in kind of like this. There's this strange change in tempo into the second part of the introduction. And then the third part of the introduction is great. That's when Travis starts going nuts and whatever. I feel like the multiple intros seem kind of just like a way for Travis to like show that he's awesome, and he is awesome. But I really would prefer to cut off the first 37 seconds of the song. That cuts out 2/3 of that intro. And especially that, I'm telling you, there's just one guitar that sounds like it's off, and I don't know why it's there. Other than that, this is a pretty kick-ass song. It's anthemic. It's grown up punk, which is a way for them to kick off the album. Obviously, we had Anthem on Enema, we had Anthem Part 2, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Now we're all back together, Anthem Part 3. This one, again, is definitely more adult in terms of the lyrical content. We have Tom and Mark together. I would say, for me, the line of this song is "No one gave a fuck that you died." I feel like that's really the anthem line that I like. There is a line that I really want to change in the song. At the end of the chorus, he says, My hope shit ends here tonight." At least that's what the lyrics on the internet say. I wanted to say, "My old shit ends here tonight." That's what it is in my head, and I think I like that lyric better. And then I think the last thing I'll say is it's in the mix on this record. The way that it's mixed, sometimes you can't tell if it's Mark or Tom, even though they have such distinct voices. Sometimes the mix and whatever kind of auto-tune or autocorrect that is, I kind of feel that way in the last outro, I guess you'd call it. And it might have been, it's probably the two of them. It could be the two of them together. But sometimes you can't tell who's singing because it's a little bit auto-tuned out. But overall, I think it's a great song, minus the first 37 seconds, which I don't like.
All right, so I'm not going to comment on any of that, and I will let. So, Mike, why don't you go? Not that you're wrong, Steve. I'm not giving you shit here. I think that was well done.
Well, for
I'm just not going
starters,
to comment. So,
for starters, the track list to this album leaked a long time ago. Just the names of the songs. I think Hoppus has been pretty known to do that for a very long time when they're working on records. I was discouraged when I saw that there was a song called Anthem Part 3. I thought it was pandering. I thought it was trying too hard. I thought if they were going to do an Anthem Part 3, they should have done it a hell of a long time ago. That being said, when I finally did hear the song, it won me over immediately. And I said, this is great. This is about as good of an opener these guys could, put together for this new album. Under the pretense, of course, of hearing 6 other singles beforehand. I agree with the intro being a little bizarre, Steve. In my opinion, they are going above and beyond to showcase that they are 100% Blink and 100% back in 3 little musical interludes before the vocals started.
And they call back to Anthem Part 2 pretty, go ahead.
Yeah, and Double Time is that super, super fast drum beat that we haven't heard on a Tom DeLonge Blink song since Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. There's a quick song on Neighborhoods, but it's not this beat. This is the same drum beat that opens Dude Ranch, Double Time. So when they get into that, that was a big deal for me as a listener, for me as a drummer, for any fan of Travis Barker to hear this drum beat returning to a Blink song. And I liked it. The outro was the best part of the song, in my opinion. So you're talking about the first 30 seconds possibly going. I want the last 30 seconds to go a hell of a lot longer. I think that's one of the prettiest parts of the entire record. We're going to talk about auto-tune and production a little bit throughout this, so I don't want to get lost in it right now. But not being able to distinguish between 2 lead singers is ultimately what auto-tune does to everything. It's the same reason that there are records where Matt Skiba and Dan Adriano sound like the same singer in Alkaline Trio songs. Bands that have multiple singers messed. The self-titled Messed record was the first time he said, oh man, I don't know which one of the singers this is. And it's just because once you crank up the autocorrection, it takes heart and personality out of vocals. And then suddenly you can't tell who's who. The most difficult part for me to listen to on Anthem Part 3 is when Mark yells, no one gave a fuck when you died, because he's screaming, but the auto-tune fixes it. And then it sounds like an auto-tune scream, which to me is kind of lame. For me, as I'll continue to mention when we talk about production, though, that's what a #1 Billboard album sounds like in 2023. It's unavoidable. There's no way they would be #1 if they skipped that step in their production, because that's just the way music is now. So that's why they had it mixed that way. And that's all I have to say about that.
That's some deep stuff. I first of all, for all of you out there that are listening, this is going to be a fairly lengthy episode. So let's just get that out there right now. Let's just get it out there. I mean, whatever, it is what it is. This is a big album for us to talk about. But anyway, so I definitely didn't get as deep as these guys with the auto-tune, because I'm different than them. I have a very keen ear for Tom DeLonge, so I can hear Tom better than most people can. I can tell you that right now. So when he comes in, I can absolutely differentiate by 1,000% who is who. Nothing against you guys. I totally get it. If you don't have that ear, you just don't hear it like I do. So I'm not mad at you for that. But I think that the way that he delivers this like low, raspy Tom voice, first of all, I don't feel like I've heard that before. Or maybe it's different. Or maybe it was on some kind of Angels and Airwaves album that I didn't necessarily listen to. I don't know, but I love it. And I think it works perfectly here. I like the fact that they brought back Anthem Part 3, because I like when things get brought back. I'm just that type of guy that, has that nostalgia longing, and this brings it right back to me. In terms of the song itself, that drum intro, amazing, right? And I love the fact that they do kind of like a instrumental intro into the track. I don't know if Blink does that a ton, but when they do, like this, I think it works great. This was a great intro to the intro track to the album. Love the voice. Tom's back in Blink, and he comes back strong here. Definitely super produced. I can't argue with you guys there. But look, I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with a rich, clean sound. Like I don't know why the layered, rich, clean sound is something that people get on. Like I love a raw sounding album from the late 90s. I've always said that, right? But in this case, like I don't mind this. I think that it works well with what they're trying to build. So I'm okay with that. It's kind of in comparison to the other anthems, this is one of my last points. Kind of subdued, a little bit different, a little bit more low key. But I love that last. Like I think you talked about it, Mike. The outro, that last burst by Tom and the vocals is amazing. I love that outro part. That was just it was a pinnacle of a great song overall. This is the second best Anthem song. Anthem 2 is still the best. So Anthem 2, 3, 1. That's the order.
So not to pull out my I think you're right there as well, but not to pull out my calculator. I just discovered as we're talking about this, the Anthem Part 1 has one instrumental intro before the vocals start. Anthem Part 2 has two different instrumental intros before the vocals start, and Anthem Part 3 has three of them. I don't think they planned that. Again, I think that I just dug too deep into my pocket protector with my calculator to determine that. But you can listen to it. I'm right.
Nice. All right, well, while you're still talking, why don't you go ahead and continue on, Mike? Why don't you kick us off with the number 2 track, Dance With Me?
Okay. I don't like the masturbation joke at the beginning. Not because I have a 6-year-old that probably thinks it's hilarious. Because I don't want to hear a 50-year-old man talk about jerking off. I mentioned this when I met you guys.
This might be the wrong band to listen to.
But there's a few moments in this record that touch on that. And if you tell me it has to be there, then I'm going to ask you why none of it is there on the self-titled record, which I still hold as their best record. I think there's a reason that Jerry Finn possibly told him not to do it on that record. So it just sounds forced. And to be quite frank, anybody putting out a blooper at the beginning or the end of a song, a little audio outtake, is pretty dated. That's kind of a 1999 thing to put on a punk record, because everybody had Pro Tools and everybody was able to save every little, go down the line, Goldfinger Messed, every record has some sort of weird vocal blooper that they kept. So I thought that was really dumb.
Let me ask you a quick question. Interrupt.
course.
This is not an original thought. I heard it from another podcast, our buddies over at All Punked Up. They had mentioned, do you think that it would have been better if the masturbation joke was the end of Anthem 3 instead of the beginning of Dance With Me? Would it have made a difference?
Yes, if we're talking song by song, but that also would have tarnished that beautiful outro to Anthem Part 3 because it's so pretty. And then it would have been like, God damn it, Tom, we talked about this. And I'm going on quite a bit about 2 seconds of dialogue, but this is where the album errs for me. I like this album for so many reasons, and I'm going to be positive about it. But there are moments where this band is feeling nostalgic or pulling on our nostalgia strings, and there's moments where they're fucking pandering to us. And I think that that's strike one. When they say, oh, well, we have to say masturbation or we have to make a dirty joke somewhere on the record. Let's do it right at the beginning so everybody knows that Tom's back. And to me, it just seems too obvious and too forced. That being said, Dance With Me is a wonderful song. And I was super excited to hear it because the songs that they had put out before then were emotional train wrecks. You know, they really, really hurt your feelings to listen to. They were writing about some really, really important shit. And at that point for me, as someone that was sucking all of these singles dry like you guys, I needed some pop. I needed some Carefree. I needed something to listen to in my car and not be like super bummed out. So I like this song a lot. I know that they're getting a lot of flack for the Olé Olé thing. And I know that they've even gone as far as to discuss it. That the producer thought it was a good idea.
Travis.
And yeah, well, yeah. And then, you know, I'm happy that we're now living in a world where musicians like Justin Timberlake can go forward. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but he said, I sang, "It's Gonna Be Me. It's Gonna Be Me." I sang it all fucking day. And he said the producer came in and he said, "You're pronouncing me really weird. I need you to say it with more conviction." And he said, "It's going to be me." And he said, "More conviction." And he finally just said, "It's going to be May." And he said, "That's it. That's the take we're going to take." And Justin Timberlake walked out of that vocal booth and went, "What the fuck? He just made me say May." And this is 20 years before it became a meme. But even then, he knew that the producer made him do something that he didn't think as a singer and songwriter was right. I'm happy that we've kind of eliminated that smoke and mirror now, that people could admit like, oh no, the producer told me to say that it would be catchier. And if you think about it that way, and if you hear everybody's story, the Olays don't bother me anymore. In fact, they make me want to go to my local Taco John's and get a 6-pack of tacos with a pound of potato Olays.
I want to go to Taco John's. We don't have Taco John's.
I think I can freeze deliver it to you.
I've heard of those potato olays. I have. Other people have talked about that. So Dance With Me. This one is the one for me that hit me right out of my seat. I fell out of my seat when I heard this one. I love this song. I don't care about the masturbation joke. I barely even heard it, to be honest with you. It was just the song itself when it hit and it started. There's so many good things. Like I really like the short burst music, like the way that it kind of bursts and bursts and bursts. Maybe it's in the way that those lyrics are delivered, but the other thing about it is the way the lyrics are delivered. I love the way that Tom delivers the verse. It's like shorts. It's like a start and ending of a sentence in weird ways and a weird tempo. That is very creative, but it sounds so unique, and it sounds so like I've never heard that before. That whatever, however you want to call it, that cadence, but it flows. It flows great, and the melody itself is new to me. It's a tune that just sticks in my head. So I love all of that kind of together. And I just think it's an excellent product. So this is the tune that after edging really just kind of be like, yeah, this solidified it for me. I can't say one bad thing about this song. The Olays really didn't bother me either. Like to me, that's okay, right? It just keeps it going. It keeps the song going. It gives it energy. You can sing along to it. I don't understand what the problem is, and I don't know why people have such a hard time with it. Like, who cares? Why is that a bad thing? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Like, I guess there's lyrics that people don't like, but that just to kind of focus on that.
What's the
I don't
difference between
understand.
ole 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 and na 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 na
Well, that's what I'm right.
na?
I mean, people like that too. So I mean, what's the difference? Right? What's the problem? Has anybody ever come up with like a significant, hey, this is why I don't like Olay? Or is it just more like, oh, it sucks, I hate that? I mean, is it? I think it's the latter, right, rather than the former. Okay,
Of course.
so that's my take here. I don't have a ton of things to say here because I'm very positive about this one. It definitely stands out, and for me, I love the second track. So really great start to the album. Steve,
Agree. So I don't really mind the masturbation joke. It doesn't bother me. The only thing that bugs me is I just feel weird when I play it in the car and my daughter's in there because she doesn't understand what that word is and she doesn't know. But in my head, I'm like, I shouldn't be playing this.
just talk over it. Make up a loud question.
I do.
So hey, what did you do at school today? Oh yeah,
Exactly.
okay. I don't care. Let's listen to the song.
So it doesn't particularly bother me. The guitar line in the beginning, it's fucking fantastic, and it probably less appreciated, but still amazing. The verses that Tom is doing, all that short bursting lyrics that you're talking about, Chris, is really, the verses are driven by the bass. The bass is actually really an important part of the song, and I guess most of the time bassists don't get a whole lot of credit, but if you listen to it, very good. The chorus is fucking infectious. It is an earworm. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've like accidentally woken up in the middle of the night and could not fall back asleep because in my fucking head is ole, 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 ole. We're doing this all night long. Like, that has happened. This is true. Did the ole, 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 did it like connect with me like the first time that I heard it? Maybe not, but it doesn't bother me at all. And I would ask you guys, so Travis came out and had a couple of tweets about this, and he basically said that the outro started off as the chorus, and the chorus, the Olays, were the outro. And somebody on YouTube put out if the outro and the chorus were swapped. So he released the song as they initially had it mixed. Like, he just, whatever, cut it up himself. If you haven't heard it, go on YouTube and just type in Blink-182, Dance With Me, outro, chorus, switched or reversed, whatever. You'll find it. And I think both ways work really fucking well. They work well because that outro is so good. You beat my heart from miles away. We're doing it all night long. Like, so that could be the chorus is what they're saying. It originally was. But here's the thing. If that's the chorus, then the outro, the Olays, are lame. They're not as punching. But with the Olays as the chorus, the outro is fucking amazing. It's really good. I think that the way that they did it, it would have worked either way. But Travis, who made the decision, I guess, I wasn't in the room. I guess everybody was involved, but Travis made the call. I think he did it right. And the video is fun. This was, again, Edging was a fun song, but that was a year ago. Then they release, One More Time, More Than You Know. These One More Time just like cuts through our hearts like with a arrow. And then they put out this like fun song that is so good. They put a video that's silly. They're all dressed like the Ramones. They have like a fake Elizabeth Banks interviewing them. This was a great, great single. And unfortunately, I think this one could have got more. Again, not that I listened to a ton of radio, but I feel like maybe it didn't get enough airplay because One More Time was really the single that they were pushing. And we'll get to that in that decision. But this is a fucking hit. Like, this is a hit. This is a great song. I've seen him do it on the iPhone videos for some of the later concerts, and can't wait to see it live. I hope they do a lot of these songs in the show next year. Maybe we should ask that at the end, what songs we think they'll play. But anyways, I'm agreeing with both of you guys. I think this song is a hit. It's great.
Awesome. All right, let's go on to the next one. This I'll start this one off. It's Fell in Love. So the first thing that kind of hit me here is I think this is a great party song. Like, it's a great just party dance, have fun song. I also think that in 2023, I think this is a great song that a younger age group can really get into. It's just a fun song for any age, not just for us, the group that loves the nostalgia of Blink-182 and the sound that they had before. This feels like it could appeal to anybody, and so I like that a lot. I'm fine with that, right? I want new people and the younger generation to love this music as much as we did. So I think this song accomplishes that in a lot of ways. I love the clappy intro, kind of the happy-go-lucky feel, like it's kind of like a happy-go-lucky tempo to the song. I really like that a lot, and it seems like the vocals on this song, Tom, a little bit different of a delivery here too, kind of like a deeper, almost kind of similar to a Mark voice. Maybe this kind of goes to that auto-tune thing that you guys were talking about before, but I think they sound a lot more similar on this song than on the Anthem song. So maybe that's what I'm hearing. That's why I think that, but I don't think it's a detractor at all. It's an easy to listen to, fun, melodic song that I think hits on all the levels. So a little bit different in the way that they deliver it, but different in a good way. So, Mike, do you want to take it?
Yeah. It's no secret that Mark especially is a huge fan of The Cure. And this became a lot more obvious on the self-titled record, and he started, talking a lot more about it. My first thought on this song was that it sounds like Close to Me by The Cure. And then I'm looking at Wikipedia here. They actually credited Robert Smith.
It's sampled, yeah.
Yeah. No, but even just the structure of the song, the chord progression, and the musical hooks sound exactly like a pop Cure song in an homage type of way. So I was stoked when I heard that immediately. I was also really happy when the song ended and I looked and it was 2 minutes and 8 seconds long. I said, fuck yeah. This is classic Blink. It's a short, poppy, easygoing song that you want to listen to a million times, that you can listen to a million times because it's short and easy to listen to. So I was stoked. Tom talks about fucking on this song, and it doesn't really bother me as much as like the masturbation joke. And that's because there is a youthful feel to the song, and the song's about, it reminds me of dating and courting, my now wife when we were young, and
that's a different song.
And still going to parties. That's true. Wow. Okay. But anyways, this song, I really, really like it. I also like that you can look at the track listing so far, and we're under 10 minutes. We're about to start the 4th song on the record, and we're under 10 minutes already. And that just goes to show that we're listening to some really good pop punk music that's not overthought, that isn't so overproduced in the fact that they're adding a bunch of extra bars of shit to the end of it just to try to prove some point. And I think that goes a long way.
I feel like I could have taken another 30 or 40 seconds of this song. The first time that I heard, I do. The first time that I heard it, I was like, wow, this is so poppy. I didn't get it. And then by the second time, I was hooked. Like I was addicted to this song. When you think about the album and the concept, One More Time, and where this band has been over the last, 30 years, it's an album of grown-up introspection, and the straight-up fun nature of the song, the way that it calls you back to when you were first courting your wife. I like your old-school terminology there with courting.
We were little whippersnappers back
then.
then.
Yeah, you guys went to the sock hop. I feel like this one is just, it's like refreshing. And if I were to make a comparison, this song is better than the one I'm about to say, but this is kind of like the story of a lonely guy. On this record, I feel like this is kind of like the lighthearted fun in it mixed in with some of the serious, and I absolutely love it. The Cure stuff. I like some of the Cure hits, but I don't know any deep cuts. I didn't know that this song. Everyone said, "Oh, this is the Cure. This sounds like the Cure." I didn't know, and they credited Robert Smith, and obviously it does sample some of the stuff, but they got these na-nas. Like, I think I like everything about this song. I love like the entire thing. I feel like it's fucking fantastic. It's really good. Number 3, that's a hit.
Awesome.
Agreed.
Mic
Yeah.
dropped.
Yeah, you did drop the mic. I think that we were all pretty unanimous on this one, and that's funny. Like I didn't hear The Cure, but now that you say that, I hear it. So, and I think that's okay because The Cure was obviously really poppy and popular of their time, so it made sense, and maybe it's why I'm hearing what I'm hearing. But anyway, we can move on to the next one. And Steve, I don't think you've kicked one off in a little bit, so why don't you kick us off for Terrified?
Terrified. So they've come out and said that this is basically like a lost Boxcar Racer song, or this was a Boxcar Racer concept that that was shelved or never came to fruition, and they decided to rework it into a Blink-182 song. To me, to be honest, this song is like if Boxcar Racer, Angels and Airwaves, and the songs Go and Violence from Untitled, like all smashed together and had a baby. Like all of those things, I hear all of them in there. The intro is very, very Boxcar Racer. The verses are very, very Angels and Airwaves. The chorus, just the Welcome Terrified, seems to me to be very, very Untitled record. Honestly, with like the 3 really good songs in a row, I'm not going to say that I don't like this song because I do like it, but I don't think that it hits me as hard as any of those first 3. The chorus it's loud and it's powerful, but I feel like it's a little lacking for me. It's just that, Welcome, Terrified. It does that part of it. Again, I called it Untitled, but I see the Boxcar Racer-ish thing to it. I don't think I'm going to put this one up in the top, but there's nothing wrong with it.
I'll go next because I don't have a ton to say here, but I don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like I just need it to grow on me a little bit more. I don't dislike it. I don't hear the boxcar though. Like it's funny not knowing what you said because I didn't really take a look at those things prior to the show. There's other songs on this album that I think that first hit me as, wow, this could be on a boxcar CD, or album, CD, whatever. This wasn't one of them. So for me, like it's just I took it in a different way. I love the chorus, but didn't love the verse as much. That was my first impression when I listened to it. But then, my note says, "Oh, screw it. I love this one too." I don't know. Like, I feel like I kind of went back and forth. It could be because, I have an affinity for the way that Tom sings that the more you listen to it, the more you kind of get into it. I don't know if I have much more to say here other than that. I would not rank this towards the top. Maybe I don't want to give away ranking it, but I will say that it definitely is not one of my favorites so far on the album. So we'll kind of leave it at that, and I'll let Mike sound off.
It's also interesting because there's not a whole lot of songs that don't feature both of them, and I couldn't hear Mark. Mike, I don't know if I don't know if Mark is in here unless he's
not credited really.
Okay.
That being said, this is one of my favorites. I think in some ways I was, with the exception of Anthem, but I had heard, and nobody had mentioned this, but Anthem Part 3, an instrumental version of it was featured on all of the interview format stuff on their YouTube page. They had a really long interview with some guy that I've never heard
Zane.
of. And I've never actually sat through the entire one, but the shortened one and the long one both feature these long-winded instrumentals of Anthem Part 3. So I had heard the instrumental elements of it enough that I think I was literally Friday night at midnight, which is how everybody delves into their albums now, opened it on Spotify, just pushing next until I heard something new. And so this was the first one. I immediately heard the Boxcar side of things. Boxcar Racer was, let's do Blink, but let's add riffs to it because Blink was known to have dinky Fender Strats on it. And that's why that Boxcar record sounds so heavy, is because it's Travis doing his normal thing, but they added riffs to it. So based on the riff at the beginning, all mentioning of Boxcar makes a lot of sense. But I really like this song. I think technical wise, the riff on this and the awkward up down drum beat in the instrumental before the vocals is the most advanced, I guess, musically that they've gone so far on the record, which I was impressed with. I was kind of waiting for. And it has that little pretty clean guitar part in the bridge with the super fast hip hop drums. I was a big fan of that little part too. That was a sweet bridge. But yeah, I like the song a lot.
All right.
That was a big pause between you like the song and a lot. So it's either very enthusiastic or you had to think about it.
I was going to say, now that I know that Hoppus's voice is really absent from it, they should have put it on there. Just saying. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have been that difficult to just like give him some parts.
But I don't mind when it's just one or the other. Like, they've obviously have some amazing songs that don't have both of them on it. And like, damn it. Right. I mean, that's probably a layup, but it's just more. Although AI says that Tom can sing that song, and I don't want to open that can of worms because there's a lot of people that we can have that conversation later.
Well,
So
up until Untitled, most of them were one or the other, with maybe a little bit of them together in a chorus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of opening the credits to my right side. And so I'm looking here, and there's 3 songs and an interlude on this record that are featuring just one of them.
Mhm.
And now that I'm kind of looking to the future of the track list, it's making a lot more sense which songs those are. And we'll get there as we get there.
well, Mike, go ahead and keep it going. Kick
Okay.
off one more time.
Titular
All right.
track.
Titular.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to talk too much about how the song made me feel, because I feel like every single person that's reviewed this song has already talked about it. But brilliant music video in a world where music videos don't fucking happen anymore. I said this about Hoppus when Simple Creatures came out too, because that Adrenaline music video is awesome. It's one of the best things that came out that year. And I'm glad that there are still rock bands out there that want to put out actual music videos and not just lyric videos, but I thought this song was wonderful. I thought, well, through all the arguments and Neighborhoods being considered kind of a failure on their behalf, I like parts of Neighborhoods, but they've talked shit about it in the past. It's ironic to me that all it took for them to find the secret formula is to write songs about what they've experienced. And rather than trying to write a love song or pander to a level of nostalgia or a level of youth, they wrote serious songs. For Tom DeLonge to have the huevos to actually admit that he's been kind of a douche in this situation in his own song lyrics is a huge, huge deal for me. As someone that felt betrayed by him as a kid when he left the band. So the song means a lot to me. Travis singing is a little strange, but I've grown to appreciate what it means. And I'll leave it with this. After finally getting all of my tears out of my skull, a few nights and some Evan Williams into watching that music video over and over again, every time I wanted to feel that feeling, which you guys are dads, sometimes we need to feel that feeling, right? The videos of Tom singing that song at When We Were Young and crying the entire song is some of the most powerful shit I've ever seen. I went, oh, man, Tom got worse at singing. And then, oh, wait, I think oh my gosh, he's crying. And he cries through that entire live performance. And it's one of the most powerful things I've seen a band I appreciate doing in a very long time. And it also got me thinking, and we can, I hope you guys can back me up here. It's rare, especially when we're talking about a band that's making this massive comeback. It's rare for a band with such an epic discography and so many singles to put out a record so many years later that are going to feature songs that are now staples of their live show. That song is going to be a part of their live show until the end of time now. And that's incredibly special to me. That song is as important to their discography as Damn It or What's My Age Again. And a lot of bands that try time and time again to have that big comeback never have that chance. They put out the record, they promote it, whatever. They play some of the songs live. And then the very next time you see them touring, they're playing the hits and just pretending that the record never happened. And I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, that was really, really well said. Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I mean, this song encapsulates their entire career. It encapsulates entirely who they are. And I don't care who else has said it. I mean, this song makes me feel sad. It makes me feel happy. It's mostly sad, right? This is a song about everything that they've ever gone through. This is a song that's for Blink fans, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'll say is it's very strange. It's not strange, but it's poignant. The fact that they released this as a single, the single after we've been waiting an entire year for a second single, for them to put this one out that's basically about them and who they are. That's not the most radio friendly song. Like, I've had several of my friends that know I do a pop punk podcast to text me, oh, this fucking new Blink song's terrible. I can't listen to it. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Do you hear what these guys are talking about? Do you hear the lyrics? I mean, we had one member go through a life-threatening illness, another through, a plane crash, and they've broken up and gotten back together. The song is so truthful, so personal, so sad that I've literally cried watching this video, listening to it. The video is such an important part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone listening, if you didn't watch the video, watch the video. The video takes the song and multiplies it times 5. I mean, the fact in the background, they're going through all these different points in the career. And again, this is a song for us. This is a song for the people that have followed Blink. It's not a song for a new fan necessarily, and maybe it'll grab somebody, fine. But this is a song for us, and to hear them write such an honest, sad song, and the video that accompanies it is super, super powerful, and just the way that it's structured, right? Tom, Mark, Tom. Then when we get to this verse, I miss you, took time, but I admit it still hurts. It's the two of them together that makes it even more emphatic. And I feel like the production on that part, it's not as like, I can hear each of them distinctly, and that's what makes it. And I can picture the video in my head just talking about it, the two of them in front of those microphones. And then the fact that Travis has never sung on a song before, and yeah, he only has a couple of words, but the fact that they bring him in and make him part of that, Jesus, this is an epic song. Mike, you said it really well. It's very rare that a band will write a song so far into their career, regardless of what's happened, and have it be a staple. I cannot wait to see this one live personally. I did not see that performance that you were talking about when he was crying. I'm going to have to look that up.
I'll find it. And also, yeah, name another band, and sorry, Chris, but name another band that can make you weep at the sight of a flaming sign that says fuck.
It's insane. Whoever concepted that video out, man, they deserve that. They deserve a fucking award that they will not get, because that was done so well. And the fact that it's just them sitting there on a green screen and it's just the three of them changing the backgrounds. And the fact that during the Miss You, there's an extended look at the Miss You background. Yeah, man, it's, and again, this song, I guess, does tie back to that one a little bit. It's darker and slower, and it's got piano, and man, this is great. It's a great fucking song, dude. Great. I'm done, Chris. Sorry.
Let's probably just go to the next song, right? Like,
no, we got to hear your thoughts.
What can I say? I didn't cry, so I don't know. You guys cried a lot during that time. I didn't cry.
I've shed tears.
I must be heartless.
Ask your doctor about bourbon.
I think I don't know what that is. I don't know. Like, what could I say? You guys, I mean, you kind of cut this one apart. You went deep with this one, so I don't want to be I don't want to just kind of say the same thing again. I do like the anything I say will be very superficial here because you guys got so emotional with it, but I love the Tom affectation on the way that he sings here. It's the "do off to die to say you miss me." I really like that a lot. So even though it has nothing to do with the deepness you guys brought to this with the emotion and the crying, I thought that was something that kind of stuck out to me. Is man, I miss hearing the way that Tom sings certain words, and this kind of brings it back. But yeah, a ton of emotion here. I put here, love the way Tom plays the piano. I don't think that he is the one playing the piano, but in my mind, maybe he is. So I could see it. I could see it, and I see him sitting down playing the piano as Travis drums and Mark is sitting there with his guitar. So that's the way that I'm kind of going to stick to it. But I thought this one, to me, I thought it sounded kind of boxcar-ish in my mind. So that's the first thing that came to me as I started listening to this song is because boxcar sometimes goes slow, and I know Blink does too, but for some reason the tone of this particular song sounded like it could be on a boxcar album. So that's what I got from this one. But outside of that, I think you guys said it all. I do have a note about the amazing harmony between the two guys. So definitely something that Steve already brought up, but love hearing that again. Kind of brings me to that feeling of being back home. And that's important.
Chris,
So,
it's okay to cry. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to let it out right now, just read the lyrics. Go ahead. You can look it up on your computer or something.
No, I didn't.
Or if Boxcar's doing it for you more, just listen to There Is. It's the exact same song instrumentally.
Yeah. I mean, it's you guys. So you see, you understand. You get the comparison there, but yeah, that's it. That's it on that one. So now that we're kind of through that, and I have to take a deep breath because man, that was a lot. More Than You Know is the next song, and we're only 6 tracks into 17 tracks, so we have a lot more to go, but definitely a lot more to say too. So this song for me, this was more. It sounded more Boxcar. Like I heard Boxcar a lot here too, and maybe I just want to hear Boxcar again. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of my thought, but I heard that here with this song. Maybe it was the vibe. Maybe it was the guitar. I don't know, but I love this song. Kind of like I love the way the chorus comes in. I kind of love it because there's some things on here that are just kind of okay, and that's probably the majority of the song. But I love the way the chorus kind of comes in. I love the way that they kind of have that structured. So that was really the only thing that stuck out here. Otherwise, I thought this song was just okay. So not much more to say here because nothing really else stuck out to me. So maybe you guys have more things to say about The More You Know. More Than You Know. The More You Know is like an infomercial after a cartoon program, but
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, actually, that's a reading thing. The More
Reading
You
Rainbow?
Know. No, something else. The More You Know. Our fans know.
I'll get myself out of the way here. I mean, this is a super fast punk song, but like you, Chris, this is one that I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I like it. I don't like overly love it. I will distract from my lack of saying things about the song to just say that the tracking on the album is done very, very well, at least so far. I mean, when you look at it, when you get out of One More Time, like where do you go? You go into a fast punk song. You gotta, that extreme emotion has to lead back into like picking the pace back up, or the album could dwindle, or you could lose, your steam on it or something like that. This is one of those ones where it was like Tom singing, but it was like mixed to kind of sound like Mark. Specifically, I guess it's probably the bridge where it goes on and on, I swear it don't belong. And that's Mark. And then it goes on and on, I swear we don't belong again. This is a point where I don't know what's going on with the mix. They're sounding a little bit too alike. But again, I'm not going to skip this one, but and they released this as like kind of like the B-side. They're like, oh, One More Time is the single. And here's also More Than You Know. And I guess that's probably how I feel about it. And it makes sense that they put it out that way because full on emotion. And then we get back to that raw punkish kind of sound. Michael?
I mean, I'm on Wellbutrin, but I want to know what kind of antidepressants you guys are taking because this song was a lot more emotional for me than what you guys put forward.
Really?
To me, this song screamed, fuck, I have cancer. I'm fucking terrified. And then the second verse was, fuck, my best friend that I just disowned has cancer. How do I be there for him? I mean, for someone that's lost so many friends and colleagues to that disease, this song really spoke to me. And I love that it was hard and fast. It was a very good follow-up to One More Time. But to me, it was the same exact level of melancholy and emotional.
I don't think I got the meaning behind the song.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I interpreted it many times. Mark's verses, again, talking about his own despair. And he mentioned several times that out of left field, as he even admits it, Tom kind of came out of nowhere and was the one that was like, don't give up. You're going to beat this. And yeah, I mean, that's how I took the song. The double kick pedal on this song is a historic thing. It's the first time it's the first and last time as of right now that Travis has ever played a double kick pedal on anything he's ever done. I'm talking Transplants, Machine Gun Kelly's record. He's never done it before. When I saw him in clips playing double kick, I thought he was just showing off that he's still the world's most tattooed drummer. But after really focusing on the subject matter of the song, I think that was his way as the drummer of saying, this is how far I'll go for you guys, my brothers, my best friends. Because a single kick player picking up the second pedal to a drummer is such a bigger deal than I can even put into words. I know it sounds very, very trivial and silly, but to me it was a big deal. And I think he was trying to represent something by taking that step. And then in closing, I want to squash this whole Boxcar conversation because, Chris, this record made me listen to Boxcar again, and it's great. I dig it. That being said, I've been following all their Instagram shit because it's super active and they're all friends again, and it's super fun to follow. And I watched a video, Hoppus went Instagram live and was blasting Angels and Airwaves in his green room. And he was trying to get Tom to come into his green room, and he finally got his attention and brought him in. And this is a great video to find. It's still on Instagram. Tom says, "What the hell are you listening to?" And he starts laughing. And Mark says, "This is you, man. This is your band. I love this. This is my favorite band." And he says it kind of sarcastically. But Tom says, "Well, Mark, it's your band too. It's Tom DeLonge. It's Blink, Boxcar, Plus 44, Angels and Airwaves. At this point, we're together. We're brothers. All of this is our music. It's all a part of our history." And so you heard it here first. He like looks at the camera. He's like, if you're a fan of this record, if you're a fan of any of Mark and Travis's other stuff, don't feel bad. Listen to it. This is all a part of our history. And for me, that was a huge, again, that's a pretty bold thing for Tom to do. He strikes me as the type of person to take Angels and Airwaves super seriously, or to discount Plus 44 or Skiba 182. And he's continuing to prove here that he can be the bigger man in all of these situations related to him being kind of a baby in the past. And it meant a lot to me. So
he's totally owned his shit. Absolutely.
Exactly.
He made a heartfelt message to Skiba, and yeah, I think I owe this song a little bit more. Man, I'm looking at it now after you're kind of telling me what it's about. I'm kind of feeling some different things.
Well, and I don't know how, I don't know how your social circles are running, but cancer in my music community is just this thing that doesn't go away, and it fucking sucks. I am thinking about a friend of mine right now that hasn't been downtown in a while, and it's because it's back and because treatment 6 isn't working the way that it's supposed to. So, yeah, I think this song's super heavy, emotionally and musically. I think this is a great song that maybe it's being overlooked, but nonetheless, it's a great song.
I like that. I like that now we have a Blink 182 cinematic universe with all the different bands together.
Exactly.
Dude,
They
that's
all
a
cross over.
perfect comparison.
Because I took the first Angels and Airwaves record, and I took the Plus 44 record, and I cut them apart and then opened up my CD burner that failed 6 out of every 10 tries to burn a CD. And I made a Blink-182 record out of those 2 records with Mark and Tom's songs. And it was great. And so I don't like that that people assume we're supposed to discount all of this just because it wasn't.
Do they?
A lot of people do. I don't know. If you listen to on YouTube, there's a video of every single time Tom has ever sang the word time in a song. And it's comedic. And he says time a lot in the song, One More Time. But when it gets to the Angels and Airwaves discography, there's some duds in there. There's a song called Time After Time After Time or something. And so he says time so many times. He needed his brothers to help him write his songs. He needed less yes men, and he needed Travis and Mark to back him up or to hold him back or whatever it was. But that being said, there's gems on that entire discography that I think we should remember and honor as we move forward and hope that these guys put out another record.
Oh, I think they definitely will. And moving it along, so, got One More Time, More Than You Know. Obviously, these are heavier songs in terms of their content. So we go into the 23-second joke song, Turn This Off, right? Mike, Chris is drinking a beverage right now. Mike, what do you think of Turn This Off?
I can keep it short. I was talking about nostalgia versus pandering. I think this song's stupid and completely unnecessary. And by the time I get done hearing it, all I can think about is how old these guys are and how much they had to try to make this song sound like something that it will never be. Just give us more beautiful songs written by 50-year-old men. You don't need to do this.
I disagree a little bit. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to connect back with when you were young, the things you did that identified you as the band that you were. These guys, I mean, they're still the same people. I know people change and mature, whatever the case is, but just because you do that doesn't mean that you still think the same things are funny or think some of the. I mean, look, we're still the same people. We still like what we like, and these guys like to make jokes like this and do stuff like this. So as long as it's not overbearing, I'm okay with them doing it once in a while. They're still Blink-182 to me, and this identifies that in a lot of ways. So it's to me it's minor and insignificant, but I understand where you're coming from. I don't think it's as big of a deal as you say.
They should have just called it Skip This Song instead of Turn This Off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, do you have any thoughts there?
I mean, this is it's a funny nonsense song. If you actually look at the lyrics, which are kind of hard to hear because they talk so fast. I think if they cut the song off the record, would I have cared? No. It's not as memorable as Family Reunion, Happy Holidays, You Bastard, or maybe even Built This Pool. The lyrics are funny, though. I would give Mark the win, though. I think his verse is funnier, and that's all I have.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, this next song was written for the musical, let's say the music festival when we were young. It's nice of them to write a song about a music festival. Isn't that right?
Yeah. It's like how Sean Kingston wrote that Fire Festival song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you feel like Sean Kingston music is similar to New Blink-182 in a lot of ways?
I mean, are we talking auto-tune? Because, yeah, it's exactly the same, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike, what did you think about the non-titular track of When We Were Young?
I thought it was good. Now's where I'm going to agree with maybe one or two of those Instagram comments that Steve read, whereas this album grabbed me by the curlies and brought me to this point. And I just think that the album is very top heavy. And this song starts to get kind of lost in the fade with Bad News and You Don't Know What You've Got for me personally. It's a beautiful pop song. It's definitely necessary after the emotional roller coaster we were taking on and then whatever the fuck Turn This Off was. We needed something poppy and pretty. And I think that this song was kind of intended probably to be a bigger hit than it's turned out to be so far.
No, I mean, if it was going to be a hit, they would have released it probably pre-album, right?
Maybe.
If they intended for it.
I'm judging songs by how many writers are on the line.
How many writers are on this one?
6.
Wow. Okay. They needed to dig into the well for When We Were Young, huh?
I've been reading this name Rubin, and I thought it was Rick Rubin, and I don't know who Aaron Rubin is, so I'm going to do some research while you guys talk about this song.
I think it's his grandson, isn't it? I don't know that.
Grandson. I'm not sure about that one. Chris, you want to go?
Yeah, I could go. I don't have a ton to say. I think this kind of sounds kind of like an Angels and Airwaves song, but I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way. This isn't my favorite. I think it's fine. I think it could be a single. It's very melodic, very, very, very sing-songy. It has like a pleasant melody to it, but nothing about it really stands out other than it's just a song that's a good song at this point in time in the album. So I can't really say that there's like this awesome guitar or this creative delivery anywhere with the lyrics, or I love when Tom or Mark did this or that. To me, it's just a nice song that's just here at this point in time. So I don't know if you heard anything more specific, Steve, but that's kind of where I stand on it.
No, I think you're right. It has a little Angels and Airwaves-ness to it. It's got this like kind of celestial sound. It also sounds like this could be a song maybe from like the Enema Take Off Your Pants and Jacket era. Maybe it's just the guitar riff there. I find that this is a pretty good song, not a standout. One thing that bugs me a little bit in the chorus, the second time he says When We Were Young, he jumps in like a half a second too early. It's like, what? Like, it feels like they're jumping the gun a little bit. I know I've talked to some other people that feel the same way, but I feel like this is a pretty good album track, but it's not one that stands out or would be a big hit or anything like that.
It's okay to have album tracks. I think that you can't have all just amazing unless I think you can, but it's not the norm. So I'm okay with this one, and I do think that there's a possibility that this could be a single eventually. Don't you?
If I were them, I probably wouldn't release this as a single. No.
So Aaron Rubin is like Tom's buddy that's been with him for like over a decade, helping him produce and write Angels and Airwaves songs, which is fine. He has a couple other contributions on this record that he was on Fell in Love. He did some help with that. And I'm going to wait until you guys finally get Kenny Vasoli on here to start talking about lead singers of bands and how they add some weird band member to their band that doesn't belong there. That's their weird buddy. He
doesn't do a lot of interviews. He might be waiting a while.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about, that weird piano guy in Starting Line that screams and shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're almost at halfway. We're kind of at halfway. We're at the big single. This came out so long ago. I feel like we've talked about it so much. Mike, let's start with you. Let's get a fresh perspective on Edging.
Yeah, I said I was a little underwhelmed, mostly because there's only so much you can do with this like 6/8 swing beat. And this is the first time Blink has played this kind of rhythm before in a song, with maybe an exception. I think there's some B-sides from the Skiba era that I won't really count. But the 6/8 beat is pretty common in some Goldfinger hits. So it's a catchy it's a catchy rhythm, but it's really, really one note. If you have it, da, 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 then that's it. You've written a song in that beat. You can't really do too many variations of it. And so I was excited to hear a Blink song in that format. I thought that it sounded a little phoned in, to be quite honest with you. And that's why I was prepared for another Neighborhoods. I was prepared for my dreams to be crushed and for Mark and Tom to write each other off before this record was even finished. So to hear it come out now among the full length, it's fine. It's somewhere in there in the record. But compared to the how high they've raised the bar with some of these other songs, it's meh to me.
Meh. That's that comment we heard earlier.
It seems like it's pretty it's permeating. This one grew on me though. At first I didn't love it for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. It's like for the first Blink song back, I wanted something else. I didn't want that beat.
It's
Maybe
still
that's what it
Counting the
was.
Days I've Been Without You by Goldfinger. That's the song I kept thinking of.
Yeah, I like that song though. I like that song. This isn't the song I wanted from Blink, the first one back. I just didn't want that beat. I wanted something different. Maybe I wanted more of like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, what I probably would have wanted is Dance with Me. It's probably the one that I wanted first, but we got this. But it grew it grew on me though for some reason. Like I seem to enjoy this more that I've heard it more and more times in the context of this album. So I don't know. That happens sometimes. It happens to a lot of songs. It happened here, especially the bridge and the chorus. I really enjoy that part. It's just, again, it's very simplistic, very sing-songy. Mike, I think you talked about the structure of the song, but Blink makes it work. I mean, this song could have, I think by other bands, this song could have been a disaster. They find a way to make this simple type of song structure work and sound good. And again, I don't I just think more time, I might actually like it even more. So that's kind of where I'll sit with this one. Steve,
Let
Oh,
me
go ahead,
add
Mike.
let me add one thing here because it seems like a good place to do it. When I heard this song and I heard that Travis was really, really upping his writing with the guys, my first thought was, man, he doesn't do anything special on this song on the drums. And that's really strange because I figured if he was writing, he was going to be doing even more off the wall, completely unnecessary stuff.
Mhm.
That being said, Travis has been kind of annoying me lately amongst like Skiba 82. He did a Cokie the Clown record with Fat Mike, and his drums are hilariously unnecessary. He goes to so many great lengths to do psychotic, rudimentary things on these 4/4 songs. It makes me laugh out loud when I hear it. It's like, yeah, we get it, dude. You're really, really good at drums, but at some point, he's kind of ruining songs. There's a song in particular on California, the song where they say dusk till dawn in the chorus. I can't think of what that song's called, but he does so much on the verses of that song that it makes it almost stupid. When I noticed he wasn't doing much on this song, I started to pay attention to the rest of the record, and I noticed on the record one more time, he's scaled back. He's really thinking a lot more cautiously before he does something. He does a lot of really, really awesome shit on this record, don't get me wrong. And it's all technically very difficult to play and pull off. But I'm really proud of Travis this time around for not playing too much, especially on a song like One More Time or Edging, where it would have just completely ruined the flow of the song just so he could prove a point that he's incredibly good at playing drums.
Well, for me, unlike you guys, I feel like this is exactly what I wanted when Blink-182 was reunited with Tom. I mean, the first song back, I think I think they hit it out of the park. It's super fun. It's not too heavy. If you watch, I saw this live last summer, but if you watch him do the do, you can just tell he's like having so much fun doing the backgrounds. I thought Travis's drumming was good on this song. We're talking about Tom fucking girls in church. We got back and forth between Mark and Tom. Super, super catchy chorus. I think, again, we did talk about this at length, so I'll keep it relatively short at this point. But I thought this was a great single for them to come back with. And I think this is a good one. I think this was the right choice to put out and lead with it and then wait for the rest to come out later. If it was Dance With Me, that would have been totally cool too. That would have worked. But I feel like this one worked very well. All good.
Okay. So let's go on to the next one then. You Don't Know What You've Got. And I will kick this off by saying, how about those drums? I don't know, like maybe this is what you're referring to, Mike, but I feel like that drum intro to me is really cool. And actually, I think, and I could be mistaken, I don't think so though. When you flip the vinyl over, this is the first one you come in with, is the first song. Um, I liked it a lot. Like I love this song in a lot of ways. I don't love the song all the way through, but I like it enough. I think it is anthemic in a lot of ways. It mostly just has to do with the sound mix. Like it just sounds really good. The melody here is really good. And vocally you get that little bit more of a subdued Mark, but you counteract that with a little bit more of an enthusiastic Tom. And that mix to me is always great. Like they always seem to pull that off great. And this is it's just a song where they can do that. So I really like this song. I think this is not one of my favorites, but it's definitely one of the standouts on the album. So you guys think differently here for this one?
This is you can put this up there with One More Time in terms of the lyrical content. I mean, this song is a real honest look into Mark's psyche during his cancer diagnosis. It's so fucking sad when he says, this poison skin you can't touch, go on without me, my love. He talked about in that Zayn interview, there was, or maybe it was somewhere else, that it was there was a point where he was taking the chemo where he like his wife literally wasn't supposed to touch him because his skin was like poison because of all this shit in him. The one I don't know if it's I guess it's the bridge where he says, I begged for your forgiveness. I made a deal with God. I took you all for granted. You can write my epilogue. Like it just, it hurts for me to just to like read that. It's so fucking heavy. And it's like, I've had immediate family members who have gone through, cancer treatments, immediate family members who have died from cancer. And to hear a song from somebody that like I've idolized for so long be so honest is again, it's just powerful. The drumming in the song, Chris, as you had said, is fucking nuts, especially in the beginning. I think he's doing this thing where he's like just like tapping the edge of the snare into the snare. It sounds, I'm not a drummer, it just sounds like it's so hard to do. It's weird in the chorus we have both Mark and Tom. I feel like the mix, the auto-tune, like I feel like they took it, there might have been a button in the studio and the button says Tom's twang, and for some reason they just like turned it down on this one. Like there could have been I feel like there should be more Tom twang, but it's auto-tuned out. Again, it's a powerful song, man. It's deep, it's heavy.
Yeah, I think you guys said it really well. It's when a band that you followed for so long, that you have invested so much time in, that you feel like you're a member of their family, and something like this happens, it affects you, and it's interesting. It makes you think about what these people meant to you when you were a child, or it makes you think more about how they're feeling. And I discovered Mark's diagnosis the same way most people did, especially in music journalism, whereas I think Mark had a personal Instagram account and he accidentally posted a chemo selfie to his very public one. And this was to the point that there were people on message boards arguing about whether or not it was for publicity or if it was fake or if he was making some sick joke.
He had fucking chemo brain. Like he literally had chemo brain and couldn't like figure out the right audience to share his story to.
And I discussed this a lot with my wife because, she said, oh, and this sounds super trite and I don't mean it that way, but she said, Mark has always been super hot. He was the guy in Blink that I had the hots for. And to see him bald and to see him grow out his white hair and to see him struggling and look so weak, really takes the wind out of somebody that grew up really looking up to him and thinking that he was superhuman in a way. So it's difficult. I said to myself, there's going to be at least one song in this record about this very subject. Let's see if they can do it in a way that touches us without being a total bummer. or touches us in a way that doesn't sound like every other song that's ever tried to talk about this illness, because it is unfortunately more common than we want it to be. But I thought they did a really good job. And I think this song will stand the test of time. I think this one's being overlooked because of its location on the album. At least for me, not owning the LP like you, Chris.
First
but
one,
if it is,
first one.
if it is the starter on the LP, that's great, because yeah. And I'm happy I mentioned Travis's drumming when I did, because like I said, when he turns it on, it's awesome. And drummers and non-drummers will listen to it and say, that's batshit awesome. But it is important that he's able to scale it back when necessary. And that's why I brought that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my son is a drummer, and but he's a drummer in the band at school, and he did not know what that sound was when you click the edge of the drum. So is that what Steve said? Is it just clicking the edge of the snare?
Oh, he's back. It's called a rim shot, but I was hoping Steve's headset would be off so we could convince him that it's called a rim job, so he could talk to all of his friends and family about how much he likes rim jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
What did I miss?
People. We were just identifying exactly whether or not that was what that was called when you click the edge of the drum, and apparently it's called a rim shot.
Travis is a classically trained marching drummer, but he was able to use those rudiments when he was in the Aquabats quite a bit. The super fast rim shots with the hi-hat. He does that on Story of a Lonely Guy, on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. He does a version of that. It's just not nearly as psycho as it is on this song.
Yeah.
Nice. So Blink Wave, guys, we said a lot about the last song, but let's talk more about Blink Wave. I really love this song. I think this song rules. Have they ever done a synth pop type of song before? Maybe, but this one does it so good. Like, I love the way that they kind of mix this 80s energy with the Blink sound. I think it mixes perfectly. Them singing over it, it just something I've never really thought that I would hear, and I just, it's a perfect marriage of music and Blink 182 and lyrics. Nothing really stands out here in terms of the lyrics themselves, but the music just kind of permeates enough where it doesn't matter to me. So I'm cool with that. I could listen to this song over and over again. I love it so much. So, and maybe it's just because I'm a fan of that type of music, but whatever, right? I think that this could be enjoyed by a lot of people. So that's my take here. Guys, what did you think about Blink Wave?
Go ahead, Mike.
I agree with you, and I know we're both like Depeche Mode bros, so there are a ton of parallels between new wave music. The Moog was like the cheapest instrument to buy in the 80s, which is why it became such a popular instrument among garage bands. Because nobody had any money, and here was this thing that you could use to just do about everything. And so I think they were able to use that instrument in a way to make a very simple song that stands out, that doesn't get washed away with Dance With Me or Fell in Love or something like that. Because it's a very similar song to those, pop-wise, structurally. I have heard a lot of people say that it's called Blink Wave as some sort of a dig against Angels and Airwaves, which I think that they just wrote a new wave song and called it Blink Wave. Probably that's what the demo was called, and then they just thought it was silly to change the name when they decided to name it formally. But yeah, very easy listen, and a really good time in the record for such an easy song to listen to when we're talking about the power of the emotional writing in the song before it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Totally agree there. I mean, you guys said it without saying it, but it has this total 80s vibe to it. I like the vibe of it. I feel like if there was any song on this record that could potentially have been released on 9, it would be this one. And I like where it is in the album. I think it's totally fun. And this is something that they've really never done. I mean, Fell in Love has that Cure vibe to it, right? But it's not that like 80s synth kind of thing. I feel like this is something that's pretty totally new for them, and I'm in for it. I totally dig it. I like it a lot.
Cool. Why don't you go ahead and keep that going, Steve, and talk about the next song, which is Bad News.
Why do I always have to be the bearer of bad news, Chris? It's funny. So there's a song like this, and there's another one that I get called back to, which was Not Another Christmas Song. And when I hear these songs, I say to myself, like, all right, Mark Hoppus is a songwriter. I'm pretty sure this one is all Mark. I don't think there's any Tom here. I wonder, like, how this goes over in his household when his wife, Sky, hears it for the first time. Like, Not Another Christmas Song, it goes, I hope we get divorced I want to get divorced for Christmas. And this one is just this, giving you bad news. I think I might have fallen out of love with you. It's like, all right, I know you're a songwriter and you can write about things and it doesn't have to be like super personal, but it's like, how does she feel about a song like this? So the song, it starts slow and a cappella, and then it kind of hits into this pretty fast, like hard hitting song. I really like this one. I think from the first time that I heard it, and I still do. And it's a heavy song on a different level, right? This isn't the cancer diagnosis. This isn't the band breaking up. This is back to like the song about the girl. And again, I just think to my head, like, how does this play in the Hoppus household? Listening to this, it's interesting.
Mike, what did you think?
I agree. And I mean, firsthand, just experiencing these things. And we've talked about this. It's incredibly difficult to write pop punk music, emotionally driven music, if you're not inspired by something. And being inspired by loss is really easy, unfortunately. So when we're talking about illness, if we're talking about the guy from Alien Ant Farm's greatest divorce album, Comeback, like, if you're heartbroken, you can write some songs. If you're perfectly happy, as he's been with Sky for so long, he would have had to channel this from somewhere else, maybe a falling out with a friend, or writing a song for someone that he cares about that recently lost someone. Or
we don't know how happy he is. We just see Instagram photos, dude. You don't know what's happening in there.
I don't think he would have let her take his official photo for the album cover, which she's listed as a photographer here, if they had any sort of turmoil, unless he's trying to get her photography career taken off so she can move out. But I think this song's great. I think it's a cute little pop song. It could have just been a completely fabricated thing, though, too. He could have been in bed with his wife and said, "Oh, man, I got to write a breakup song. Smoke him if you got him."
Yeah, I don't have much more to add here, guys. I think it's kind of middle of the road. It's fine, but I don't have anything really impactful to say on this one because I don't know. It just didn't strike me as much. So
my daughter's been listening.
It's fine.
My daughter's been listening to Taylor Swift for like 6 months, and that's the only thing she wants to listen to, and it really sucks for me. And this song reminds me too much of Bad Blood by Taylor Swift, just because the word bad's in it and the melody's close enough that when I heard this song, I was like, I'm going to go listen to Dance With Me again.
I don't know if I like the comparison, but I don't know. I don't hear it. So I'll have to go back and listen to it. Now all I'm gonna hear when I listen to this song is that. So thanks. I appreciate that. Appreciate you doing that. That makes me hurt. Yeah. That's the next song. So this is an interlude. This isn't a real song, right? So this is just a interlude to whatever. I thought this had once again had some Angels and Airways vibe to it. Not much more to say other than it's super different. And anymore, I guess it's just not a full song, right? It's an interlude. So I don't know. What did you guys think?
Blink has been announcing these interlude songs since the self-titled record. On self-titled, I thought it was really powerful. But around the time that they wrote interludes in the neighborhoods, I just said, why are they telling us that this is filler? Give it, I don't know. There's an interlude on that Forget What You Know Midtown record, and it's one of the best songs on that entire record. It takes you to an emotional journey. It doesn't have any words to it. So interludes are useful, but my bass player in JV All Stars, his one of his first comments about this record was like, "Who writes interludes? Why did they write an interlude?" And a lot of people do them. They just put it on the tail of another song, or at the beginning of another song, and that's it. So I don't know why they keep intentionally announcing their interludes when they're present in an album, but it's fine. It just sounds like extra music that could have been on the end or beginning of something else.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been on an Angels and Airwaves record because that's what it sounds like. And I
That
feel
too.
like an interlude to me should be closer to the middle rather than like towards the like at 13. I feel like an interlude should have been at like 8, 9, or 10. I don't need an interlude here. I would probably just. I don't think I'm going to listen to this one. I would just skip it. It doesn't do anything for me.
Just skipped it.
Yep, done.
And it's also longer than the throwaway punk rock songs.
Yeah, it's like over a minute, right?
Yeah, minute 22.
But then we get to this gem, Turpentine or Turpentine. Do we say Turpentine or do we say Turpentine?
This
We
song,
say Turpentine.
this song draws me in two very different directions. One side of me really likes this song, compares it mentally to like Reckless Abandon, like a really good Tom DeLonge speaking for my entire generation while writing this song. And then there's just some stuff in it that I just don't like. He talks about sticking his dick in Ovaltine. Do you know how many like 24-year-old people I've had to even explain what Ovaltine is?
Well,
So
they
it's like,
obviously didn't watch Seinfeld.
it's like he's writing this line to like fit in with the younger generation, but he's talking about Ovaltine in the same line. So it just makes me think of that Steve Buscemi picture where he's holding a skateboard and he's like, "Hello, students."
Hello, young kids. Hello, fellow
young
classmates.
kids. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think he's trying too hard. I think at the end when he pronounces turpentine wrong and says fuck, and it sounds like he made an outtake in the studio, that it's just, it's written. It's like a written joke to make it sound like he fucked up in the studio. And it's just, to me, it's a little lame. To me, it tarnishes what could have been like a pretty sick song.
Chris,
I'm about to sneeze.
Oh.
I can't. Okay, I'm good.
do you want me to go? Do you
I'm
want to
good.
sneeze?
I'm good. I don't have to sneeze anymore. Avalanche, or Turpentine? What's better?
Well, I think Turpentine is better than Avalanche, but he makes a joke out of it.
She's very serious when she talks about
Right.
Avalanche. So that is a throwback, Mike. You'll have to listen to the to High School Never Ends to
I'm down.
understand what that is, but we'll explain it later.
Avril.
Is it like that Chandelier Here song?
No,
It's Avril Lavigne. She made a song, Avalanche.
My wife was listening to Skater Boy in our car while we were driving, and my daughter hated it, and I was so excited how much my daughter hated it. But I didn't remember her saying sorry so particularly in that song.
She says sorry.
Sorry.
I don't, yeah. Okay. That fits. That fits. Hey, you gotta love the clappy start. This is a fun, upbeat song. Oh, you love that, Steve. I know you do. I know you want to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it as much, but I just
You said it. I love it.
I like the Tom yelling at you to wash yourself in turpentine. I think that's very unique. That Tom's yelling at you to do that. And I love the way that Tom delivers the opening line of each line. It's like the way that he sings it, the way that the song's structured. It's really cool because it seems like his lines always end on an up note of some kind. Like it always kind of raises up at the end, and it's a really cool technique there. So it keeps my attention. It makes the song to have that edge that makes it stick out. I think that at this point in the album, it's nice to have a song that sticks out like this one does. And it's amongst other songs that maybe aren't necessarily our favorite. This one really, really sticks out for me. So love the way that that's delivered. I like the what's that blah 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 fuck, like that part. I like that a lot. Like that's. I think there's a lot of cool and funny things in this particular track that they do. I think Tom knocks it out of the park once again. And I also really like how the beat like changes completely when Mark comes in. Like the beat changes up significantly. It's like more of like a hip hop beat when Mark comes in. So it's really cool that the way that they produce that and change that up. So I'm a big fan of this track. I think it's definitely a standout. So Steve?
Yeah, I mean, this is a mix of like there is some serious shit in here. It's like a serious song mixed with like some total silly bullshit, and I love it. Like I am here for it. All the stuff Mike you didn't like, Sean Michael Elfers, I like it. SME. I like the claps open. I like how in the song itself, he mixes the pronunciation between turpentine and turpentine, which sets up his blah, 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 fuck. And it also sets up his wash yourself with turpentine. God damn it. Like, all right, I understand that it was written that way. Like, I don't think it was a blooper. I just think it's funny the way that it happened, because throughout the song, he's mispronouncing turpentine with turpentine based upon what he's trying to rhyme with. So I think that this is kind of like a take off your pants and jacket song to me. I feel like if this song was on that album or is some sort of callback to that album, I think that totally fits. And this is, again, following the tracking, following Bad News, which is, I mean, it's a sad song. It's not like a slow song, even though it starts slow. I feel like this one is like a burst of energy here at like the 14th track of the album, and it's fantastic. It's I feel like people are going to look back on this record and be like, that's the hidden gem. This one is the hidden gem.
I just think
Turpentine.
I think Tom is kind of like this bastard Bruce Springsteen in a way when he writes songs like this. And you know, we're talking about the pickups in the song and each verse ending with the beginning of another stanza and all that stuff. It is very singer-songwritery. I like that he's pronouncing the word two different ways. It could just be a wash of the production. I don't like on this record that when it's time for someone to scream, they don't really scream. They just have the engineer put some distortion on it. And then it just sounds like somebody singing with distortion on their vocals. And
where is that in this song, though?
Yeah. Tom really yells at you. He's yelling at you.
Yeah, when he's yelling about turpin pronunciation, it has like the distorted vocals on it. When he yells "fuck" at the end, and it's supposed to sound like the talk back.
Technically,
in
it's
the
"God
studio.
damn it."
Sorry, God damn it.
Just want to make that clear. Okay, there's a big difference between a fuck and a "God damn it."
But I don't know. I've been playing music long enough that when I accidentally sing "Dick Fuck Jesus" because I get like stuttered over my words, and then the guy engineering it like laughs and copies that little line of me saying "Dick Fuck Jesus" and puts it at the end of the song, and then we hear it every time we play through it in the studio that day. I know better now. I know that that when he's like, "Oh my God, we should put this on the final song," I look at him and I go, I mean, it's hilarious, but do you want to listen to that 8 more times today? And that's when it's like, you're right. We should cut that out. Like at the end of the Destination Unknown opener, when Tony's like, and you have to hear that before you hear Yesterday every single time. Eventually you wish that they wouldn't have kept that. That's how I feel about bloopers. They are funny at first, but if they want repeat listens, they got to think about it.
I would listen to you saying that over and over again, just for the record.
I feel like he needs to just like wash himself with some turpentine and cleanse his soul, his palate, and his being, his aura.
My penis is soaking in a cup of Ovaltine. Actually, you can't see below the table.
It means it's very chocolatey.
Well, not very. It's like an imitation chocolate.
If Tom DeLonge was very cross with you, Mike, and yelled at you to do this, he yelled at you specifically to wash yourself in turpentine, how would that make you feel as an individual and as a person, as an adult man?
The same way I felt when I was 16 and he's like, "I've got no dick" at the end of that Boxcar Racer song.
Mm-hmm. The same way, okay.
The exact same way.
Great
blah,
song,
blah,
though.
blah, 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 fuck.
Fuck. See, I don't usually say that, but I got to say it here because it makes sense.
I like the blah, 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 fuck part, though. I
good.
guess I didn't add that. That's funny. That's a funny thing to add as a lyric.
I think it's just hilarious at the end where I know that I don't think that it's natural, but when he twists himself up and says turpentine and God damn it, like it's good. It's good.
But going back to the "It's Gonna Be May" thing that I told you about, there's a viral Instagram reel right now of Tom singing "I Miss You" and making little faces as he pronounces all the words to the first verse of "I Miss You," and he's making a meme of himself at this point. And do we really want that? He says "yed" on Anthem Part 3. We didn't mention that.
Listen,
he says "yed."
I didn't hear.
I'm so happy that Tom is so good in his life that he is having fun. He can poke fun at himself. He can make memes of himself. He can make an ass of himself. He's calling it back to the early years. I feel like he's in a good place. Not that we're close friends, but I do feel like that he's in a good place mentally.
And I don't want to stir him from that good place. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Don't fuck around with Tom, Mike.
Look, when you can make memes of yourself, you made it, right? So I feel like
He finally slapped them alien cheeks.
Dude, he proved aliens exist. We're not even talking about fucking aliens tonight. He did.
So really, this is his victory lap.
The government proved him right. I guess we can move on to this fucking fuckface. Fuck.
This is a joke song too.
I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those like fast pong tracks. So Travis does the vocals. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure Travis does the vocals in this.
He does some of them, and then they brought in Tim Armstrong from Rancid because they needed help to write a 27-second song. Like, that's what pisses me off about this stuff. What I like about it, and I haven't listened to it yet, is I'm seeing Fuckface is called "You Talk Too Much, Shut Up" interlude on the Clean exclusive edition of the album. So I'm thinking maybe there's an instrumental version of this song on the Clean version, and I'm gonna dig it up.
Well, listen, between Turn This Off, Hurt interlude, and Fuckface, this one is the least necessary of all of those unnecessary tracks. The 17-track album could easily be 14 tracks. This one doesn't do.
Why did they bring somebody in on this one? Like, for what?
You know why? Because Spotify pays you more money if the person listening to your song completes the song, and it doesn't matter how long it is. So if you write the most beautiful 7-minute song of all time and everybody listens to 5 minutes and 45 seconds of it.
Such a jaded thing to say.
And so everybody with a mohawk that their mom bought is like, "Hey dude, Tim Armstrong from Rancid's on this 27-second
Nobody's
Blink
turning
song.
on this fucking track to just
They're
listen
so
to it.
punk.
Is he on this track? Is he actually on the track?
It says he helped write it, which is maybe even lamer than if he would have sang on it.
Do you think he just hung out for one night and they were just like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think that's
he's like,
good."
and they're like, "Those are really good lyrics. Did somebody write that down?"
Or the other side of that is they called him in, they had him fly all the way in for this, and they sat down for 5 minutes, and then it was like, "All right, dude, that's fine, that's enough," and he got kind of pissed off for that, and it's like, "Is that it? You sure?"
He called him a fuckface, and then they were like, "Perfect."
He left and he signed off, and it's good. So that everybody wins. Everybody wins. Yeah, I don't have anything to say here. I mean,
I would
we've already kinda
rather
said it.
How long is this track?
I'm not angry though. You guys are angry.
27 seconds.
I would rather listen to Tom saying blah 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 fuck like for 27 seconds on repeat than listen to this, to be honest with you. Not that I like hate it or anything, but I'm just being honest. I would rather listen to him say that like 40 times in a row than listen to this track.
Or like the time thing on a loop for at least 15 minutes.
I'll send you guys that. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I'll add this though, and I'll hopefully transition us to the next song as I do it. But we've talked a lot about the flow of perfect albums, and I know that the three of us identify the same when we think about things like great album openers, great album finishers, the second and third songs that, continue to up the tempo and up your enthusiasm as you're getting into a record. Some of my favorite songs on records are track 2 for that very reason, or track 7 because they said, "Oh shit, we got to make sure people aren't losing interest." But another part of my favorite parts of all of my favorite records is that moment where you realize the record is about to come to an end. It's not the last song. It's usually the third or fourth to last song. And those are moments that make me feel great about Kings of Pop. Say It Like You Mean It.
That's a good callback.
Yeah, Take This to Your Grave. Those songs where you're like, oh, I love this song. Oh my God, the album's going to be done in a couple songs. I don't want it to end. I'm having such a good time listening to it. And I think we get this from the song Other Side. And I think we were taken from it for 27 seconds by having to sit through whatever the hell that needed to prove first. And so the satisfaction of that earnest songwriting behind Other Side that's steering the album to a close means more to me than some joke that was probably very funny to record, but I'm already over.
So what is Other Side about? Like, Mike, you seem to have a predilection towards a song. I didn't really get the point of this song. Is this like an on tour kind of song? The whole it'll never be the same stage, right? The coffee life. I don't know that I understood what he's talking about.
I decided on my own without any research whatsoever that this is Hoppus's little nod at Skiba, thanking him for being a part of the family for a while. And I might be totally off. But it's definitely about it's definitely dedicated to him or some guitar tech or somebody that shared the road with them for a really long time that may have passed away or retired or something. Because that's what that makes me think of is the people that kept the gears turning that weren't directly involved in the band.
Did you have anything else to say about Other Side?
I don't think so. It'll never be the same stage, right? See, I'd need to know what side of the stage Mark is on. That's what made me think it was Skiba. How can you leave without saying goodbye? Well, Skiba said goodbye, so it can't be him. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get the point of the song, like of the lyrics. I guess I did take it as some sort of an on tour song, but I've always said that I'm like a little bit more of a Mark guy than a Tom guy, as much as I love Tom. But this is a full on Mark song, I believe. I don't think Tom sings on this one at all.
No.
I don't think that this one really stood out that much to me. It kind of calls me back. What's the one in Neighborhoods? It's the MH, the one that has the he talks about the helicopter. It's like the MH, whatever the number is afterwards. I feel like it's just a late album track. And
it reminds me of that song very specifically. Yes.
I'm glad that we had the samesies there. And I also
MH4182011.
There it is. I don't know. I know that there's like Aerosmith has a song called The Other Side, and I used to do karaoke, Red Hot Chili Peppers, their song Other Side. Like, I just feel like the other side is a worn out concept. But when I listen to this song, I sing along. I do enjoy it. I don't dislike it or anything like that. But
hold up.
Yeah.
Other Side is a tribute to longtime Blink-182 crew member and Mark Hoppus's personal bass tech, Robert Noyes Ortiz, who passed away in May of 2022.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
You're an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I did say
jerk.
I liked the song. I just said it didn't blow me away. That's all.
You just weren't a fan of Robert Noyes, I guess.
Thank you, Robert, for everything that you've done for Mark. And
I'm crushed. This makes no sense. We lost a dear friend and family member today. I'm going to write a very meh song about you and put it near the end of our new record.
that was disrespectful.
That was very,
Michael.
that's even more disrespectful.
How dare you?
I don't think either of us are going to go to the other side now.
I had a really good joke here that I was going to tell, but you guys, it's too late. It's too late to tell the jokes. So it would have worked right as you. And I can't be mad at you, Mike, because the segue was perfect. Your segue from fuckface to this was seamless. If there was no segue and there was a pause, I had a really good joke. So I guess we'll just never know. But I feel like I feel like I'm on the other side of things from you guys. I really like this song. I love the way that Mark delivered. I always prefer a upbeat Mark versus a subdued Mark. That's what I prefer. And this one gives you an upbeat Mark, a little bit more of an energetic Mark Hoppus voice. So I was all in for this one. I think the drums once again kill here. I don't think they overpower the song at all. I think that this is I don't know. I think this is just a fun pop punk, very very poppy song, but very pop punk. It has a pick scrape in it, by the way, so you can't lose with that. And even though there's no Tom, which obviously is a prerequisite to what I want to listen to, I think this is a fantastic Mark song that from front to back I would listen to over again more often than not. So I was a fan of this one.
All right. Well, we're at the end here. This is the last song, guys. We've done it. I don't know if we're going to talk about those two extra tracks. Maybe we'll postscript them or something like that. But Childhood is the final track on this record. I feel like we should give Mike the first say for this. What do you say?
Yeah, this song isn't my favorite. It's kind of a predictive last song. I think that a lot of pop punk bands that are writing songs about life have written a song like this and decided it has to go at the end of the record. It's also the longest song, 4 minutes and 19 seconds. But it's a pretty song. It's a pretty outro to the record, but just a little one note for me.
Chris?
Interesting. I flipped my stuff. Actually, I flipped it right back to my notes. I am not sure about this one. I do not know if I have any definitive feelings other than let's see here. So I think that what I'm trying to say, I'm reading it's either I love the tune. I didn't love the tune as much as I love the subject matter. That's what it was. So sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of my point is, and I said this before when we were talking about, writing about cancer diagnoses, is you have these things that you need to write about, but can you write a song about where is the time gone and do it in a very unique way that nobody else has ever done it, because it's been done so many times already. And I think that's kind of what they did here is they did do it in a way that was new and fresh to me. I felt a different way on this song that I felt versus other songs that I've heard recently that do the same thing. So in 2023, I think this one definitely hits. It's funny. He says, what does he say? Who the fuck are we? It's like a line in here. Like that's probably maybe what a lot of people think. They don't know Blink-182. Maybe they don't know themselves. Like, who are we supposed to be? We're older guys now, and we were this band, but now what are we? So I think that kind of hits on a lot of different levels. I think this is a great reflection on themselves as individuals, as a band, on what they used to say and do, and how they used to write songs versus now, and also I guess maybe how they acted, by themselves and with each other, and so on and so forth. A lot of great stuff here. I love the reflection back. It's very nostalgic to me. And even though I didn't love the tune, I thought it was good enough where it kind of added rather than detracted. So I thought it was a very solid song. And it definitely gave me somewhat of the feels here to kind of wrap things up. So, Steve?
Yeah, I love this as a final track. I think that, looking back on youth, obviously they had the other track When We Were Young. They're looking back on their careers. I feel like this is a really nice song to end the album. The music has this like cloud floaty feel to it, this like bouncing up and down. I feel like this could be like the soundtrack to like a Mario Brothers. Mike, we were talking about Nintendo before this. I feel like this could be like a Mario, like if you're on that level where the cloud is involved, like this could be the background music to something like that. And then I really enjoy all the lyrical delivery here, the Mark, the Tom, and it's weird the way that the song is constructed. It's almost like there's kind of like three choruses, and there's the What's Going On With Me, Everybody Seems So Lost I Want to Leave, 2023, Who the Fuck Are We? I guess that could kind of be a pre-chorus, but that could also be looked at as a chorus. Then there's the whole like, where did our childhood go? I want to know. I feel like that's actually the chorus. But then they do repeat the the remember when we were young, like they repeat that several times. It feels like it's just this song that has like 3 or 4 different elements that repeat that are very enjoyable and bouncy and poppy. And I dug this. I think this is the perfect tune. I don't look at this album and think there's any other track that they should have ended it with instead of this one. Is there anything that you guys would think would be a better end track?
No.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that.
Okay.
It sounds like the last song on the record.
It does. And
yeah.
I do. I enjoy it. I think it's a really, really good last track. So it doesn't really seem like it's 17 songs because 3 of them are either short or joke or whatever. So it's kind of like 14 songs. But, you know, they did this marketing ploy where they said, all right, well, if you buy the digital album for $5, you get these 2 extra songs. And we don't have to go into those songs. But it's a long album. And, you know, it was long awaited. We were waiting for this for a long time. So they fucking delivered. I think they did a good job with this record, and it's a good way to end it. That's that.
I don't disagree. So I think that this next piece is going to be a little bit more challenging for us. So we're going to go ahead and move on to ranking it, guys. This is the part in the show where we rank our top whatever it is, usually 3, but because this is such a big album, we're going to do top 5. We're going to do top 5 songs. We're going to make it maybe for some a little easier, for others a little bit more challenging, but that's what we're going to do today. So top 5 favorite songs off the album One More Time by Blink-182. And as we always do, and I didn't give the big intro here, Steve, I'm sorry. Like we have to get into this because I want to get into it. So Mike, you're the guest. We're going to defer to you to go first. This, again, for ranking it, there are rules that we have to follow, and we all do. So these have to be in order from 5 to 1. Go ahead and rank your songs.
All right. Number 5, we're going to say One More Time. That would be a lot higher if I hadn't listened to it so many times before the proper album came out. So maybe that can be a note as to how things are being marketed today. But great song. Number 4, I'm going to say Anthem Part 3. Really, really liked it. The more I listen to that song, the more I'm getting out of it. Number 3, Terrified. That has been my random ass go-to ever since this record's come out. Anytime I'm thinking about that album and I have 3 minutes to kill, I just pop it on. Technically, it's rad. Number 2, Fell in Love, which is, I think, speaks for itself. It's just a really, really good Blink-182 song. It covers all the bases, multiple singers, pop elements, heartstrings, Cure references, and that's just a true Blink song that could fit anywhere on their discography. And then number 1 is More Than You Know, because I've been listening to that song since it came out. I identify with that song in a manner of ways. It's got double kick. It's got emotions. It's got rock and roll guitars. And as bleak as the subject matter is, like I said, I think Steve said this has the elements of like Violence and Go and all at a boxcar, and it's a really heavy killer song. That's my number 1.
Great list. And you did not even flinch or hesitate. So we appreciate you coming prepared and ready to speak to your favorites. I'll go next there, Steve, and then you can wrap us up with your top 5. So pretty straightforward here. Number 5, You Don't Know What You Got. This one, to me, like the drums just killed it here. I thought this song was anthemic. I love the sound mix. So again, everything that I said, but definitely not the best, but it definitely was worth the top 5 pick. Number 4, Blink Wave. Love that throwback sound. I think it mixed perfectly with Tom and Mark's vocal delivery. So it had to be in the top 5 for me. Number 3 was Turpentine. Turpentine, that clappy start, and Tom yelling for me in addition to the blah 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 fuck. How can you not love that? So top three, definitely part of the top three. So Turpentine, number 2, Anthem Part 3. Thought this again, the drum intro was so amazing. It was a great first song for us to get into as we kind of delve into the album overall. Love the instrumental intro, and then like I said before, Tom's voice is kind of like a welcome home just for me. So I was very, very happy with Anthem Part 3. And then it's kind of chalk, but I don't care. Dance With Me is my number 1. There's just so many great things about this song. I can't get away from the fact that it just never leaves my head. Love the delivery, love the short bursts. So many great things here. I don't think this song's ever going to get old. So it's my number 1 overall. Steve?
Wow. So between the two of you guys, there were 10 songs that that could have been mentioned, 10 spots, and you guys had 9 different ones. Only one overlap. I think that speaks to the making of a good album so far, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll see what Wingman Steve has to say. Talking about myself in the third person. So I'm pulling a last minute switch between 5 and 4. I'm gonna put number 5 at Edging, because Edging was a great single, and it brought us back to Tom's era in Blink-182. It brought us back to Tom and this band, and I think it's a solid single that holds up. And I swapped that. I had this at number 5, but I'm moving it to number 4. I think Turpentine is one of my favorite tracks. We pretty recently just talked all about it, but I think it's fantastic. Everything. It's bullshit. It's funny. It's serious. All the things at once. Number 3 is going to be Dance With Me. So I think you, Chris, had that on your top 3, but Mike, you also talked.
No, I did not.
What's that?
No, that was Dance With Me was my number 1. So.
That was your number 1. And Mike, you also talked very highly of it, so I'm surprised it wasn't in your top list. But that one is, again, it's just an earworm. It doesn't get out of there, and it's fantastic. Number 2 for me is going to be Fell in Love. I think it's just so poppy. It's just so good. This is a good record, guys. This is a good record. And number 1, I'm giving it to the titular track. I'm giving it to One More Time, because there's not a lot of songs that like can make me feel the feels or make me cry the tears. And this one really did it. I mean, I love this band. I love this band for a long time. And to have them talk so real and so introspective and talk about what's happened and put it together in a track with the video, it was really powerful, and that song is going to last for my lifetime and hopefully other people's lifetime. So I think One More Time is the best song on this record.
All right. Well, you guys went the emotional route with your number 1. So
we're emotional dudes.
I think you are. I think you're very emotional.
We each only have one kid, and it's a girl. So we're the girl dads. We're so emotional.
My emotion is gone. So I just have none.
You have emotion, Chris. You're gonna sign off here, and you're gonna look at that iPhone video of Tom crying, and you're gonna cry too.
I'll go back and give it another shot. I haven't seen that, but guys, we did it. This was a monster episode full of, I think, a lot of great opinions and thoughts and conversation. But overall, this is the brand new Blink album. Do we have any final thoughts? I know we've talked a lot, but just to kind of wrap things up, where does this one fit in? Where does it fit in with the discography? Is it the best one?
Tom straight up said this is going to be the best Blink record that's ever been released. Like he said that. Is it true?
Is it the best? Is it the worst? Or is it somewhere in between? What do you guys think?
I'm going to say the middle somewhere. And it all depends on where you were when it spoke to you. But there are songs on this record that are speaking to us and are going to mean something to us 10 years from now. So not the best. Nothing's ever going to top Jerry Finn and the self-titled record for me. And Enema, Take Off Your Pants. They they live in a different part of my heart and my brain that can't be touched. So yeah, this would go somewhere in the middle. It's better in the Skiba stuff. It's better in Neighborhoods. It's better in eating dog. I guess it's better in Buddha.
I think I'll straight up say what you're trying to say, and I'll say it's a solid like number 4 best record to me. I think that whatever order you put them in, I don't think there's a way to surpass Enema, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, Untitled. I don't think there's a way to surpass those guys. But the maturity and the ultimate what they produced out of this, I feel like is close after those 3. And, you know, Dude Ranch has its, you know, raw early feel or whatever, but I feel like this is a great record. It's really good. It's gonna have longevity in my life. So I don't think I can make it beat those 3, but it's right after them.
Top 5. Yeah. And I do put I put it above Untitled.
Wow. Okay.
I do, but I'm the guy that likes Neighborhoods. So, but I don't know where that goes. I don't think Neighborhoods goes above this one. I think this is just a touch better. So, I'm top 5. I'll make it simple, but it's really difficult. It's really difficult, and I'm glad there is, because look, I mean, there's so many good songs, and we knew that, you know, this one was going to be highly scrutinized by a lot of people that were, because when a band's been gone for so long, you think to yourself, like, what are we going to get? What should we get? What do I want? And then when you finally get it, you know, does it live up to the hype, or the hype in your head, the self-inflicted hype that you bring to something like this? When you finally get it back, mixed once the nostalgia is gone, once that new toy feeling, smell is gone, what do you have? And I think at the end of the day, you have a fantastic record with some amazing songs. And I think, again, that'll stand the test of time. So will, with time, this one continue to rise up the ranks in my mind? I don't know, but I think only time will tell, and we'll see. Right? We'll come back and we'll think about this at another time. But we did it. We got through this album. Steve, Mike, anything else on this album before we kind of wrap things up?
If this is their last record and they called it One More Time, super lame. Like, way too literal.
It won't be. I'm pretty
Hopefully.
sure that it won't be.
I don't like the album art. I don't like album art from just about anybody anymore. I don't think anybody's trying. That's just me.
I thought it was cool they reworked the logo slightly for the vinyl release, but the actual album art with just the 3 pictures, it's not that aesthetically pleasing. So I'll agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I
the
miss
album itself,
days.
fucking very good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I have heard a lot of things about production, complaining about the sound of the drums and stuff. And come on, guys, it's 2023.
It is what it is. And listen, everybody who's followed along with us thus far, it's been a long episode because we have a lot to talk about. And Mike Elfers, thank you so much for joining us here on this journey through Blink-182's One More Time, a look back on 2023. You have a lot of things going on. I think you have a new band that has some difficulty in its pronunciation. Tell us about the things that you are doing.
Okay, I'll keep it short. New musical project. It's kind of synth wave. It's called Vampire, like Empire with a V. It's me and my friend Lindsay. I found during the pandemic that if I wrote all my really dark, scary thoughts on the paper and put dance music behind it and had my friend Lindsay sing it, then I can get away with expelling some demons without anybody here in town worrying about me. Aside from that, JV All Stars are playing a show next month, and Thirst Things First is still getting ready to release our record. So I'm super busy with that and music journalism as a whole. And of course, Pop Punk Dad Life, as the 2 hosts of the show know just as well as me.
Give people like the links and the ats and the whatevers to follow your things.
Yeah, go to @Vampire Band. Check out my new band and add me on Instagram. Follow, message Steve and Chris on Instagram. That's something I learned during the pandemic, is that the punk rock music community is so much smaller than we thought it was when we started this, right? Like we're able to reach out to people we grew up idolizing, and now they're our peers. So if something touched you in this podcast, just reach out to these guys, reach out to me. We all like the sound of our own voices, and we like talking about music.
Except Mark Hoppus. If you reach out to him, he'll probably left you unread.
Mm-hmm. And then write a song called Fuckface about you.
That's okay. I'm very friendly. Yes. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you. Or you'll think you'll be talking to me and you're actually talking to Steve. I don't know.
Think you'd be talking to me and you'd be talking to Chris. You never know.
Potentially. We do that sometimes. Mike, always a pleasure. It's you definitely lived up to the hype once again. So thank you.
Thanks, dudes.
Yes.
It's always an honor.
Hopefully we get another soundbite from this episode so you can play next time. We talk about the next Blink album. But
that's the plan.
For all of you guys out there that are fans of the show and enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check us out on all of the socials. And what really helps the show is a review. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and also leave us a review on Spotify if that's what you prefer. Either way, we want to hear from you. And hey, if you want to support the show, another great way to do that is to buy some swag. We have some awesome stuff on our shop. You can get to our shop through our hub, which is www.hsnepod.com. That'll bring you to our shop at Dragon Wagon, where you can get some great stuff like a brand new hat, HSNE Pod hat, High School Never Ends hat, a shirt, a mug. We don't have the fingerless gloves yet, but that's something that I'm pushing for. And maybe, just maybe, some brand new stuff. What actually, I think it's already out there. Some brand new swag with some new graphics on them. I think there's some dad bod stuff on there. I'm not sure, that might be coming up, but check it out. A lot of cool stuff. Absolutely.
And just to expand on that, we've got hoodies for the winter season, for your loved ones or yourself. Lots of Christmas presents available at hsnepod.com. We're going to be back next week. Again, we are doing 2023 look back. So we're going to be talking about a new album from a band you love that came out this year. Don't miss it next week. Thank you for joining this week. Mike Elfers, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, keep on rocking those dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
If you're enjoying this podcast or any podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon shop. You can tout your podcast pride while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. Make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com. Get your dragon swag on.
It's Dragon Wagon.